Welcome to Stream of Consciousness, the traditional land of the sock puppet people. And welcome to emerging sociopaths, past, present, and emerging. To what's been another big week. Well, no, last week wasn't so big, but a big week in Australian right-wing politics, just as we dreaded. And guys, we have Brian Marlow with us. Welcome, Brian.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Very good. First time you've been able to get on at 8 in a while.
I know.
I don't know if you know this, but I've been doing monologues, man. Like when we start.
It's been a baptism of fire, but you've been doing pretty well.
I actually kind of had one planned for tonight, but I don't need to do it now. We got Skull backstage, but we might just cover off on what we're talking about today before he gets in. I can't get into the chat, so Skull, if you're watching, we'll put you on in a few minutes. Welcome to Country is in the news. It's I just was having this. I don't think I was really trolling him, but I have ratioed him pretty hard conversation with Mark DiStefano on Twitter just now, and I think I just made the point that 12 months ago it was one guy and he got arrested. And now it's hundreds of guys. What's it going to look like next year?
It's not just that it's hundreds of guys. It's hundreds of guys, and already some of the RSL organisers are saying, well, maybe we won't do it moving forward if this is going to continue. And it's that's a clear signal that this needs to continue then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look, I mean, it's not that I have mixed views on it. Like if I was there, I personally wouldn't have booed, but that's just because I'm pathologically polite. That doesn't mean, I don't support to the death other people's rights to express their views any which way they want, even if I think it's impolite. I think there's a few risks here. It's one of those threats and opportunities scenarios. I think one of the dumbest things that the right in this country can do is pick a fight with Indigenous people. I think what we have to be really clear on in the rhetoric and on the criticism is that this is a problem with the Indigenous grievance complex, which is bigger and not even particularly Indigenous. I mean, this is the stuff that's been coming out of universities now for 50 years. This is the stuff that has occupied our bureaucracy, has occupied our media, has occupied most of Australian business.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Australians.
Exactly. And, Australian nationalism has, its origins in support and respect for Indigenous rights, from P.R. Stevenson's Jindi Warabok movement, right, through to, the moral rearmament, supporting, what's his name, Yulun Pingu, and Indigenous mineral royalties, right? This is something that conservatives in this country have always felt very strongly about. The Conservatives felt so strongly about that it became a flashpoint in The Voice. It's the problem is the grievance complex.
Yep.
The problem is there are people in this country who don't want it to end. There's a reason why it was called reconciliation. The idea of reconciliation is that you reconcile and move on. There's a reason why a majority of Indigenous people, an overwhelming majority of them, want a treaty. It's not the bullshit treaty they're getting from Jacinta Allen. They want a line under everything and to move on. But there are people in our country who just so happen to run most of the country who don't want to move on, who want a forever war where we're forever genuflecting to,
Yeah, because effectively it's a tool of. It's one part of a giant humiliation ritual that they're using as a tool to enact sort of their own objectives, which has nothing to do with reconciliation, nothing to do with anything to do with Indigenous Australians. It is sort of a cudgel that is being used to chip away at everything that this country stands for. I mean, it's standard. This isn't a phenomenon that solely applies to this country. You see it in other Western nations as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's a global thing. And look, I mean, as much as I hate some of the Cooker sovereign citizen shit they go on about, this is one of the few things they're right about, is that this stuff is downstream from Davos and the UN, a global plan to shame countries into these, land use policies, because it is ultimately all about land use. I mean, if you were to go back in time, if I look at what's going on in Queensland right now with Chris Foley and like banning the word, from the river to the sea, right? Which you're not allowed to say in Queensland, right? If it was up to me, we would ban the words sovereignty was never ceded, right?
Yeah.
I think that is the most toxic sentence in Australian public life. One, because it's not true. Two, because, it's toxic even to Indigenous interests, right? When those activists, which are just unrecognizable to Australian civil society now, like Galarrwuy Yunupingu, who fought for, his rights to mineral royalties and fought for native title, if you said to those guys sovereignty was never ceded, they'd laugh in your face and say, well, yeah, it was. Otherwise, why were you in the High Court trying to get it back?
Yeah, exactly.
This is the narrative of Australian, white Australian and Indigenous relations is, they ceded sovereignty and then we gave some of it back. And that's why my overarching view on this, on the whole, like, when should you do welcomes to country or whatever, when you're on their land, they have land, right? Mm. If I go to their land that we have ceded under native title, I expect to sit through a welcome to country and it'll mean something. But when they're on our land, the land that we built things on, whether it's the MCG or the cenotaph, at our cultural rituals, not theirs, then you don't do a welcome to country. In fact, we'll welcome them to our country if we have to. But that was always the intention. This was the argument we had 50 years ago, and it should have been settled, but these people have unsettled it.
Well,
and
this is what you're right, and this is why I sort of differ from you, where I'm all in on the booing, and I think it should accelerate and be done at more events, and the booing must continue.
The booing will continue until morale improves.
Exactly right. And my reasoning is because this is just part of a giant humiliation ritual to take down what we are as a country. So I'm not going to suggest that. I broadly agree with you, right? If I go to actual native title land, I'm not going to do it there. That's their land. But in every other respect, if there's going to be this humiliation ritual, it should absolutely be openly rejected. And the more that it happens, the more that these people are going to go to ground.
Yeah, exactly right. And the more they'll retreat from it. And look, I mean, this is why, and I'm going to put him on stage now. Brace yourself, Skull. You're coming into the Black Lodge. Wait for it.
Uncle Skull's joining.
Skull's here.
Thank you, gentlemen.
But I mean, this is one of the things that we've got Skull on to talk about. That Skull's done an amazing job of publicising this week. Is let's talk about who's doing the welcome to countries, right? Because it's not all innocent aunties, is it? It's who's doing the welcome to countries. Skull, talk us through what you've turned up this week.
Well, I just want to acknowledge that we are on unceded land. This beautiful
not me. I'm in an extra dimensional pocket universe, the Black Lodge, where the owls
You're in the
speak.
Fifth dimension.
Yeah, that's where I am. Brian's in the void, and you're in the Peter Dutton verse.
Yeah.
Is my mic all good? By the way, you send the link. These guys send the link 1 minute beforehand, so
that's how we roll on Stream of Consciousness.
It's just. I wouldn't even say it's controlled chaos. It's just fucking chaos.
The people do not want professionalism. They've told us multiple times. They've said if we were to buy a studio and it would suck, and it probably would.
It probably would. If we had a shower before we did the stream, that'd be pretty bad.
I actually did my hair before the stream. I actually give it a little bit of a blow dry before
looking glossy. But I think the funny thing is that who is doing it? Well, we actually don't really know who this Mark Brown guy is, because I've turned up some, interesting sites and stores and Facebook posts.
Oh, yeah.
There's really nothing about him from 2023 or before anything like that. There's no information on who his family is. There's no information that he's ever had a job. All you can find online is that he's tried to flog artwork, candles, and jewelry on Facebook for a number of years. And then suddenly, right about the time that ChatGPT image generation became available, his artwork suddenly exploded into all this detail and color.
Wow.
So, yes, he he's an interesting character.
Yeah.
What-
well, I mean,
what
but
I-
he gets a Guernsey at everything though. Like this is the guy they go to. This is modern Australia's chosen welcome to country.
Like he's the
Well-
dude. He rocks up wearing like a shitty baseball cap and then like
Yeah,
happy
floral-
thing over a t-shirt.
I'm calling it Ed Hardy Bogencore, Indigenous Bogencore, but
Indigenous
yeah, some
Bogencore.
fucked up like.
I
acid
know,
trip
young.
t-shirt.
I've lived in some of these communities, or like adjacent to some of these communities, right? And like cool Indigenous people don't look like that. Like they actually, they just dress like eshays and they do their laundry and they they don't look like that. Like they don't look like they just stepped off the set of Waterworld. Like they're one of the jet ski bandits with Dennis Hopper. That's
one of the
such
smokers.
I thought just instead of doing Mad Max, I just go a real niche post-apocalyptic reference.
So the thing, I mean, we might throw back to Skull, but like the thing about this that Skull had said to me the other day is like he has this like shonky looking website. He's slinging AI generated sort of slop shirts, but then also I think you were saying like he's also selling Anzac branded, branded.
No, there's actually 3 different ranges of it. There's Anzac, Country Spirit, some bullshit. There's Always Was, Always Will Be, Lest We Forget. And then there's Anzac, Feather and Flower or something.
Right.
But
Jeez.
yeah.
Buyback Capital just said, is he also an NDIS supplier?
Well, probably
he
right.
really could be.
Yeah.
Well,
And
so
then
the
in
interesting
2023, he went through by a couple of different names. I think it was a Moonblood was one of his names.
Moonblood is one of his Moonblood 84. So I don't know how old you guys are, but he might.
I was born in 1984. Like I've had a much easier life. You wear it on your face. Like. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The funniest thing was he's spent years trying to sell shitty art. He had a store on Etsy and Redbubble. He had his own soap company.
Yes. Like in Fight Club.
T-shirt. Yeah.
Like,
so he's got it.
What was in the soap?
It's Corroit Creek Soaps, and it's still online if you ever want to look at it.
Okay.
But that's his trading name, and that's what he's that's how he's operating his current Welcome to Country business.
We have to get this guy in the same room as Monica Schmidt, and we can create just a beauty. If we get him and Monica Schmidt and Big Chocky and Topher Field together, right, we can create the political movement that will dominate this country for 1,000 years. Soap, anti-Wi-Fi, like audio books, like
AI.
T-shirts, the whole thing.
Well, so the interesting, I just want to say, the interesting thing is like he doesn't seem to have any kind of presence or popularity before last year's Welcome to Country where he got booed. So, like, I know you said the main guy who does it for the AFL is Colin Hunter, Uncle Colin Hunter or something. And I know I didn't watch the Anzac Day game, but people said to me, it was chalk and cheese to what you heard in the morning. It was much more positive. There was much more, of a unifying theme. And he seems like a, respectable kind of man with a history of, I don't know, public service, if you can call it that. But they've seemingly, the RSL, I assume, have seemingly pulled Mark Brown out of fucking thin air. And he's used this last year when he got booed. He's essentially spun this whole thing up after that.
Right. Well, what's interesting about that is that it was the policy of the RSL for many years, was my understanding, to not do welcomes to country. And that's changed. That changed at some point. So that's interesting. So that he's the guy that they pulled in.
Yeah, I suppose I'll take it back to the morning because I was there myself.
Oh, wow.
And I've never been to the Shrine. I've been to a few other ones. But, yeah, first time at the Shrine, it was absolutely beautiful and a beautiful morning in Melbourne, oddly. and would highly recommend. It's the shrine is one of probably the best pieces of architecture in the country, I reckon.
Wait, that's a Canberra one, or is it the Sydney one?
In Melbourne.
Oh, in Melbourne. Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to the Melbourne one.
No,
Mate, it's like it's truly. I've said it's truly monumental in the true sense of the word. It's probably, if we didn't have the Opera House, it probably would be the most iconic monument in Australia.
Sydney also has a really good one. Sydney has a really good one, and in Tasmania we have a giant needle thing. Like, I don't know, man.
They're tiny.
I'll take your word for it, but well, it's Tasmania, so obviously it's tiny. Also, in Sydney, they've got the giant shell casings. Have you seen those? It's a huge like art installation of giant like 303 bullets, which I really like. But,
well, yes, Sebastian in the chat. I did go on an Antipodean neoclassicalism thread. So if you want to search my my feed, you'll see a few of those beautiful photos from the morning. But yeah, one thing I did notice was there was no prayer, which
right.
Yes, and like I'm a cultural Christian, I suppose, but it was interesting to me that you talk about Anzacs and stuff, and I can guarantee you none of them were doing a welcome to country before they went into battle. But I can,
and I guarantee you
that gave them,
and I guarantee you, based on the demographics of Indigenous people in this country over the last 100 years, every single one of those Indigenous people who died in conflict was a Christian. There is zero doubt about that. And the majority of Indigenous people in this country are better Christians than most of the people that vote for One Nation. So, yeah, that is weird. That is deeply weird that they didn't do it. So you were there. So did you hear the booing?
Yeah, so I actually wasn't too far away. Not to... I wasn't part of it. I didn't actually boo.
We can already tell that you didn't boo because you were just too in awe of the Antipodean neoclassical architecture.
Correct. I was in rapture at our
audio of the booing skull, and I heard a very skull-like boo in the crowd.
I'm getting doxxed already. I was warned. I was actually, so I believe what they did last year and what they did this year again was they stood next to the cenotaph, which is to the right at the back. And I was probably 10 meters, 20 meters behind that. But yeah, they were very loud.
Right. Does it seem like there were a lot of them? Because I was thinking it was a few hundred. I think that's what I said in my monologue. So what was your view on how many there were?
Oh, you couldn't say anything. It was hard to. I thought it might have been coming out of the speakers, so they were at the front, but because the speaker was kind of next to the cenotaph, I can't really tell. Like it was loud.
How did you feel when you heard it?
It was like full on. Like everyone was really fucking tense and like on edge. You know, the shrine's lit up in red. You know, people just start yelling, and everyone's kind of looking around, going like, "What's happening?" People started. There was the clap, which I posted, came out of the speakers. Which a few people started clapping, but just as many people didn't. There was a guy in front of us who was like looking around, shaking his head at the welcome to country. That there was one guy like probably 30 meters behind booing by himself. Like that's a true patriot. That's a true courageous man. And it was pretty funny. The guy in front of us, for some reason, they mentioned Australian UN peacekeeping during the Yom Kippur War, and he was not happy with that.
Well, this was one of the things that
he might be a sock puppet, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, this is we need a secret handshake when we're in public. But I mean, this is one of the things that Drew Pavlou, noted Australian patriot, was losing his mind about on Australia Day, was how much of that stuff was going on in the marches. Like, you know, veterans of like the Korean War from the CCP, and like, you know, the children of the Ottoman veterans. Like,
well, if you listen to what was spoken about at the dawn service, you'd think that the entire Anzac legend and all the entire ADF was full of Afghanis, women, and Syrian
yeah. Well, I watched it.
This is like again why I was so happy to hear what I heard. Like for me, it was a massive white pill because like for the last few years, it's like this. Everything has been like a depressing fucking humiliation ritual. Like everything has felt like, you know, the Anzacs fought and died so we could be henpecked by, you know, HR cat ladies and have half our income go to, you know, teach people in Botswana about anal sex or something, right? And so it's been like nothing but black.
It is actually just, you can't argue with that.
And then you watch these ceremonies that are slowly being stripped away. There's there's no prayer at some of them. They're acting as if, like, you know, the Anzacs were, as he said, you know, just a bunch of Afghanis and all this kind of stuff. And all it took was a few pissed off people to say, no, we've had enough of this, and boo something which is there as a deliberate humiliation ritual. And for me, it was like all of the Duma within me completely disappeared in a second. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, this was always going to happen, and this was always the thing I think they were going to, the establishment was always going to stumble over, is that Anzac Day is the most sacred day of the year for Australians, right? Yep. Not Australia Day, not Christmas, not Easter, like not the Easter show, not, you know, it's Australia Day. It's Anzac Day. And, you know, if you fuck with it, people are going to fuck with you back in a really serious way. I think one of the most telling things, if you look at the last week's reaction from the mainstream media, is actually how many Indigenous people have come out on this, other than the guy you've been looking at. I mean, the usual suspects have been really quiet. There is one piece of rhetoric that the left keeps pulling out that, if you actually look at the numbers, is absolutely true. Is by demographic cohort, Indigenous people served at a higher rate than white people in both world wars, right? Because there were very few of them, and yet a very significant number of them signed up. And when you talk to like the majority of these people, middle-class Indigenous people, that means a lot more to them than the achievements of, you know, the current crop of OAM pin wearing HR cat ladies who today define Indigenous political culture. And so I wouldn't be surprised if you were to poll it. And again, I think we were talking about this in the chat earlier, weren't we, Brian, that the Australia Institute has not released a poll on this, right? Where's the poll saying Australians love welcomes to country at Anzac Day? There's no poll. And I bet if you talk to Indigenous people, they'd say the same thing. Hey, it's probably a place that might not be that appropriate, right? So they're really vulnerable on this.
Yeah, and if I think it's woken people up to it, because speaking to some normies who were there, and other people around it who just said, like, geez, yeah, it seems to be going a bit far. It's like, especially the Melbourne one. I don't know if anyone's actually listened to it in detail, but it is essentially like a declaration of war on anyone who isn't a Bunurong person. All he talked about was his father's land and how he owns it and how we should be grateful.
All right. Well, if I go there, I'll genuflect for my welcome to country. But he's not on his father's land. He's in the fucking cenotaph in Melbourne for the Anzac Day ceremony. Like, God.
And I think who Jack Lancer in the chat was saying, and I know Stephen Shavura raised it about instead singing the anthem next year, because looking back, I kind of wish I did boo after, you know, really processing what the guy said. But if that guy gets up there next year, I'm 100% either booing or singing.
Yeah. And because the thing is, like, it's not something you can boycott. This is the thing. Like, it's not like we can just not show up, right?
If you boycott, they win.
Yeah. Exactly. And like in the past, people have experimented with like turning their backs on it and stuff. And like,
but it's fucking dark. Who's going to know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they don't care about that.
Like, silent protest doesn't work in these sorts of instances, right? So, whether it's singing the anthem or booing, I'm all for it.
The thing is, this is something people can win, right?
Yeah.
We can win this. The RSL, because the RSLs control it, not the government, not the state government, not local government, the RSLs. The RSLs can be stacked. the RSLs can have ex-servicemen sock puppets decide to run for them, which, you know, if you want to do that, you should contact me. I've run RSL board campaigns before, right? This is something that can be won. And if you win it, it's going to redefine right-wing political activism in our country, because it'll wake everyone up and go, well, wow, like forget about 25, 26% One Nation. We got them to drop the welcome for country at Anzac Day in 12 months.
Yeah, it also makes people go, okay, if we can get rid of it there, maybe I can stop having to hear this crap when I just want to watch footy.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't think you're ever going to get rid of it at the footy, just because the footy is so integrated with Indigenous activism. And you know what? Kind of for good reason. It's like it's kind of like African American activism in the NFL, right? Like they're the players. Like, I guess if we had more white guys on the teams, maybe we could make a case for it. But so I don't really care about it at the footy and stuff. Like, but I do care about it at something like Anzac Day, and I care about it at just things like, you know, when we open Parliament, or when, you know, we welcome foreign dignitaries. Like, you know, like when we, you know, we're bringing people over for fucking trade talks, and the first thing we do is we say, hey, this isn't actually our country. Like, it's some whole other guy. Like if you were from some of these like Middle Eastern countries and you get here to talk about, you know, selling us oil, and the first thing you hear is a welcome for country, you'd probably be thinking, wait, why aren't I talking to the guy in the possum skin? Like, why am I talking to these jokers?
Yeah, exactly. Well, they just view it as a sign of weakness, because inherently that's what it is. And so,
well, exactly right. And this is something that, like, not just our country, but a lot of countries do. I mean, to the US's credit, they don't do it. But also, ironically, the US comes out of, like, you know, well, they don't have native title, but in terms of their settlement with native people, I mean, even though it's nowhere near as good as ours, like, the end result is, whilst not equitable, it's like there's winners. Like, there's actually no winners in our, you know, attempt at reconciliation with Indigenous people, other than bureaucrats and Indigenous people who aspire to be bureaucrats. But if you're an Indigenous person who aspires to take the land available to you under native title and produce something from it for the benefit of your people, you're fucked. You can't do that, right? You can't get a mining license. You can't build a casino. You can't do any of those things. The best you can hope for is a free Hilux from Glencore and a few board appointments and $3,000-4,000 to do welcome to countries at tea parties for cat ladies. That's our settlement with Indigenous people. And, you know, this is what the right needs to fight on. And this is where we can find alliances with Indigenous people. And they are terrified of that. That's why they've gone for no one harder than Jacinta Price, right? Forget about Pauline Hanson. Forget about, you know, all the current cast of jokers that are emerging as political contenders. I've never seen the establishment left in this country go after someone more viscerally than they did Jacinta Price at the last federal election.
She went off,
and that's because she terrifies them, you know, in a way that, like, they hate Mundine because he quit the ALP. They don't hate Mundine for his ideology, which is up for grabs. Like, he's anyone's. But they hate her because her expression of, call it what it is, Indigenous nationalism, is just anathematic to what they're trying to do, which is the forever grievance complex that never ends. Welcome for country, the boot on your neck until you die. Right?
Well, I had a similar view to you about, like, actually getting a treaty done. Like, if it's going to happen, then we should be saying sovereignty is ceded. Like, as soon as that treaty is signed, sovereignty has been ceded. Well, that is the whole point of a treaty.
But that's not necessarily what you say. I mean, what you say in the treaty is that, yes, we have ceded some sovereignty on the land that we have given you and which you are eligible to take. And look, back in 2017, I actually worked on the Recognise campaign. So before Recognise became The Voice, it was a campaign called Recognise. It was what spawned things like the recognition action plans and all that corpo bullshit. And it was the obsession of Mark Textor, who, you know, dealt with a lot of these guys up in the Northern Territory, and we worked for them. And I traveled around the country with that, going to focus groups and meeting these people. They overwhelmingly hated the idea of The Voice and of recognition. They were ambivalent on more apologies. And the thing that attracted them to the treaty was the end of it, right? Because they don't want it to go forever. It's the idea of saying, well, that's it and that's done. And you find a settlement on it one way or another. And there'll be compromises on both sides. Like, I have views on what the treaty should look like, but the whole point of a treaty is you sit down and you nut out a treaty. We've never done that.
And it's done. Right. This is like the SPLC stuff that's come out of the States. The left are using the Indigenous people as a whipping boy or, a sacrificial lamb to constantly keep racism going, to make sure there's something.
But they do this constantly. The left in America do it with African-American communities. The left in America tried to do it with Hispanic communities. Like, the left in America even tried to do it with Asian communities and then manifestly failed.
And then they realized who was attacking the Asians.
Yeah, right? I mean, the only places it works, the only the two places in the world that it really works are Australia and Canada. It works differently in New Zealand because all the way back to the 18th century or the 19th century, like the Maori got a significantly better deal. So it works a bit differently there, and there have been periods of New Zealand history where the Maori Party has been more conservative than One Nation. So it only seems to work in a few places. I'm surprised they haven't tried it on in the UK. Well,
I was going to say they kind of have, haven't they? It's almost worse.
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah. Yeah, except the only problem is the traditional owners of Westminster are bog people. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the most absurd thing where they are essentially setting up Pakistanis as the traditional owners of Great Britain.
Yeah, look, well, I'm pretty progressive on this stuff. Like, I wholeheartedly believe in negotiating a proper treaty. Like, I think the problem now is look at what the Victorians have done with the treaty. Right, so they've gone ahead and done it, and it's not really a treaty; it's just a different name for what the voice was, and there's no end in sight. Right, and it's not a treaty at all.
It's not it's not a treaty. It's just like, here's how we're going to keep complaining
forever.
Here's how we're going to, here's how we're going to get jobs.
But it's in their best interest to continue that, right? And this is the problem: is unless we put a plug in some of these key things, it's just going to be something that continues forever and ever and ever until it hollows you out, and that's the point of it. So
the challenge for our guys is when you think of it like that, which is the smartest way to think of it, which is like the treaty is the end, then you get to the point where the thing that makes the most sense to do economically is reparations.
Yeah, just pay.
Which is just going to be the hardest conversation to have, because like over the forward estimates, you've got scenarios where you give these guys $100,000 each, and then you just stop giving them everything else. I mean, Indigenous people have had the exact same rights as everyone else since the late 1960s. That's just a fact. Like, we had referendums to establish this. There is nowhere where they are treated differently under the law in Australia, with the exception of those regions where they're permitted to do things like have tribal courts, or where they get certain benefits under things like fisheries and hunting acts and things, which I don't think are that big a deal. Like, let them do whatever they want. But, there comes a point where if you sign a treaty and you pay them reparations, you say, well, do we really need a multi-billion-dollar Indigenous Affairs Department? Do we really need every single government agency to be spending hundreds of millions of dollars on this stuff? Or do we just say, no, everyone's in Australia now, except some Australians got paid $100,000 a few years ago?
Everyone got some Australians got a Toyota Tarago and a cash stipend, and we're done.
Yeah. And if you think about the terrible state of Australian business, like if even 1% of First Nations people take the $100,000 and they start a business, like, we are in better economic shape than if we just continue the way we are. Like, even probably less than 1%. I mean, I think we could probably model it out to being like, if only 20 of them start a business, if only 5 of them were to invest it, then we are better off.
If only one of them becomes the new face of CPAC, we're already
we're already ahead. If one guy takes his $100,000 and goes on Polymarket, like, it's I don't know.
The problem is half of them will start up AI apparel businesses, and we'll all be wearing
Good, because there'll be enough fucking
because-
people in Victoria to buy it, you know.
So this guy, like, I'm glad you brought it up. My understanding is like you're not actually allowed to sell like Anzac.
So
artwork,
so
right?
Tyler Green took it upon himself. I don't know if he's got any. He's calls himself a One Nation member. I don't know if he's in the chat or anything, but he took it on himself to send the first email, and he sent it to the DVA, the minister, his local RSL, I think the Australian RSL. But yeah, Anzac. The word Anzac is protected by legislation. There's no like grey area or anything. It needs written permission from the minister to use in advertising, and I can almost guarantee that hasn't been provided. So I mean, this is what I don't understand. Like 2GB and crap are running stuff about him talking about Charlie Kirk, and you know, I think that's kind of a bit overdone. Like it's
that's 2GB, dude.
It's just boomer bait, man.
Hit him on this stuff. This is a finable offence. This is something the minister will have to respond to. This is within their responsibilities.
But dude, like the Charlie Kirk stuff is just it hits at like the boomer heart, and so it gets clicks, right? And that's all these fuckers care about is just getting clicks and engagement. And it's like, no, I actually want to turn this country around. So I want to go after the guy for something that actually we can nail him on, right?
Yeah, Uncle Skull wants another scalp. I've already had Dinesh.
Skull's been killing it this year. We might actually have to give Skull the John McGowan Award for knife work. We might actually do it,
right? Like Stefano was having a sook on X, and I saw like you responding to him and sort of boxing him in. It's like, mate, where are your skulls at the AFR? What, like?
Oh, dude, no one does this shit anymore. Like, no one cares.
This is the thing, right? Like, it comes down to like an anon.
I'm doing this fucking secretly at my desk, like
and like to kind of segue, just to segue because we've done like a bit of time on World Trade Center. I mean, welcome to country. Today Anthony Albanese has announced he's doing the levy on social media companies. Have you seen this? So they'll have to pay the levy for the privilege of using Australian journalism. Like, what Australian journalism when we've got all our news comes like the biggest news stories in the country this week are Skull going after the Welcome to Country guy and the Gearside going after which I think is the biggest story in the year, going after the ABC's dud deal on Bluey. And
that Bluey thing's been around for years. I
can't believe no one's been talking about it. Because I looked at those annual reports he posted.
Capybara for people who don't know what's going on.
So I mean, and I don't know the guy's name, unfortunately. He follows me. He's on Twitter as @Gearside, and he's one of the chief guys behind. Is that his actual name? Like Gearside's his name?
That's his. Yeah,
but that's a Star Wars name. That's Gearside is a Star Wars name.
He's a Star Wars person.
So he's behind Build Australia, but then he's also done something against the ABC.
Yeah, so he's the Build Australia guy, and his first video, I think I might not be his first, but his big video that he's done on YouTube is this expose on the dud deal that ABC cut over the merchandise and licensing rights to the biggest TV show in the world, Bluey, which is, of course, Australian IP. It was originally owned by the ABC. They've cut a deal with the BBC where they got 30% of production costs, and BBC got to keep all the merchandising rights and all the syndication across streaming. And so now, in the last 12 months of BBC annual reports, you can see that they've made $2.5 billion in profit from Bluey.
Yeah, Brian, you'll know this. As soon as you go to a Big W or a Target or any kids store, literally every section has a Bluey product in it.
Oh yeah,
you got Bluey swimming goggles.
Even I know
Bluey
this.
toys. You got Bluey pajamas. You got Bluey.
So I'm pretty old school stuff. I don't let the kids watch anything that was made after like 2000, just because I assume that there's going to be global in it. So I don't even let them watch Bluey. But I can
really? You gotta let them watch Bluey. You gotta watch Bluey.
Everywhere I go,
the kids yearn for Bluey.
The kids love Bluey, man. Even I like Bluey, right? Like,
Bluey,
I was there with my. I'm there with my best
judgment on Bluey. I'm of the mindset of like post like year 2000, the rate at which Globo Homo gets into kids stuff just grows exponentially. So I just
Bluey is the last bastion of
Australian
baseness
nationalism.
on
really?
children's.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Bluey is incredibly based. Your kids are going to be so pumped that they just get to now binge watch Bluey. Yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked too because I didn't know much about kids, and then I lived with one of my best mates, and he had a little kid who was about 6, 7 at the time. Was that the thing you do when you say 6, 7? I ended up sitting down with him one day and just like binge watching Bluey, and I was like, "This fucking rules! Like this show is fucking fantastic!" Like, I think that year, like 2022, when like we were at the peak of woke television, Bluey was arguably the best thing on television. But it's crazy that the most marketable thing to come out of Australia since Bananas in Pajamas, and the ABC just went, "Yeah, fuck it, we'll just cop 30% of production and then we'll just give it away."
The other thing I wanted to say on Base Bluey is that if you notice, all the parents they're the same breed. So I don't know if that's a deliberate commentary. You never have a blue healer and
blue
Dalmatian or a border collie.
It's blue supremacists.
The healers, it's the border collies.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I don't know if anyone's looked into that. I was kind of
now that you've said it, there's going to be a piece in the Guardian tomorrow by Emily Dye is going to do an op-ed demanding that
a mixed breed. We need a
Bluey
mixed breed
show
Bluey couple.
Healer Dash-hound relationship. That was a huge story, but this is just an example of how the media is completely irrelevant in this country now.
Like Ben said, one of the dogs that is in infantry. There's a couple episodes about it. They're fantastic. I got some feels from a couple of them, and they're just basically family value shows, which is probably is radically right wing these days. But
and now you're starting to see this shift in media content generally because people just don't want that stuff for their kids anymore. Like you look at things like little signs, like private school enrollments, homeschool levels. Like Australians are like, fuck this. We don't want it anymore. We don't want weird Pride Month shit. We don't want, trans flags. We don't want, storytime drag queens. We just want normal kids. Like do what normal kids have always done. Get weird when you turn 16. When you turn 16, you can go get a fucking nose ring and start, identifying as a fucking carrot. Right, just give them 16 years of being like normal, regular kids before that happens. What else has been going on? Oh, you know what we got to do.
So I'm going to do it. All right, I'll do it. I'll let him watch an episode. See how it goes.
Yeah, one episode. Yeah. Guys.
The other thing is they work in classical music. Like it is actually based on Western Pilled. Yeah.
Sock puppet mission for the night is just episode suggestions for Brian's kids' first Bluey episode. That'll be a fun thing to tell the kids one day. Yeah, the first time you were ever allowed to watch Bluey, it was because a chat room full of degenerates.
Rancid Piss in My Ass suggested episode.
Rancid Piss in My Ass is a good days man.
Yeah, it turns out Rancid Piss in My Ass has like 5 kids and is happily married.
I'm pretty sure we've been in the same bar at the MCG multiple times without knowing it. But I actually have a suggestion. If someone can find it, it's the one where Bingo dreams and she goes through on a planetary dream. But this is the interesting thing that they have like.
So you're saying that she goes on an Aryan vision quest, basically.
Yes. And the music and the music is what is it? My Country Abide Me or whatever. The that really nationalist English song.
Oh, look, Ben knows that it's called Sleepy Time, right?
Yeah, that's what.
There you go.
But
all right.
The orchestral number is, I think Diana. It was the one that she got sent off with. It's like,
oh wow,
the one like the song about how I will get. It's like an Empire song.
How did this get through?
Well, I was sitting there going, what?
Well, but the thing with kids, a lot of kids' television is it's just a case of popularity because it's so algorithmic and there's so much churn. Like this happens a lot. I mean, that's kind of like on the flip side. That's how so many progressive values, before progressive values became, communist values. But if you go back to like the late 1970s, that's how Sesame Street existed, right? That's how all that stuff snuck through, was because no one cares. It's just they're looking at audience numbers going, all right, give him the little fucking puppet again. Like, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, I could see how it would happen.
Yeah, sorry. The song is "I Vow to Thee, My Country," which is
Oh,
essentially
right.
about going off to war.
Yeah. And then the runner-up in the chat is the cricket episode.
All right, I'll do it. I'll report back on the next stream.
Okay.
Maybe we have a Bluey watch.
Sock Puppet Bluey episode. Yeah. So the next big thing that happened this week that we want to get into is before actually, I'm getting some dispatches about the ABC having sacked Gray Connolly.
Really?
Rowan just put this in there. I might see it because I'm in a group chat with Gray. Let's see if it's legit. No, it's not in there. But before we get onto that, before we establish the veracity of that, Avi Yemeni, pro-Palestine party, the stupidest grift in Australian conservative politics this week. What do we think?
I mean, how do I say this? It's just
without going to jail. How do you say it without going to jail?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Look, I mean, it's just another lolcow thing. It kind of gets tiresome, man. Like,
yeah.
I could never say that what he does, I could never say that he's not smart about doing what he does, right? Like, it's going to have some kind of effect. It generates the things that he needs for his own interests. And actually, on election day, it probably will shift some votes strategically in some areas across some dumb fuck lefties that are going to vote for it, right?
Which will be funny, yeah. Which will be
hilarious. But it's just tiresome, man. Every time I see something from those guys, it tires me out. And it's frustrating because on the other side, you have like retarded tuck shop nationalists that just make you cringe as well. So it's like you sit there and you're I wish both sides could lose.
I guess we got to do the whole thing right, because this is the other thing that happened, of course, on the weekend. We had, what's it called? March on Australia, Australia marches, freedom to march for patriotism, the Patriot Marching Liberation Front, I think is
not to be confused with the Liberation Front for Patriots Marching.
Yeah, not to be confused with the March for Australian Patriots Liberating Freedom for Marching. Yeah, so we had that as well. Which is like,
and like, I guess for me, it's like a little bit frustrating because ever since August 31st last year, which we were all in on, we were telling people to go. Half these dudes were fucking counter signaling it at the time, right? Like,
except for us, man. We were a stream of consciousness was there the whole time.
Mm-hmm. You had like the likes of Big Chocky and stuff counter signaling it at the time. Then they came around when the crowd sizes were too big to ignore, right? Then you had this weird sort of split between March for Australia and Australian marches and marches within Australia for Australia against Australia marches and all these different factions that pop up. But we'd been warning ever since the first one that, populist movements are important, but people get march fatigue, right?
Yeah.
Especially when it's solely about migration. And I like Scott.
Me too. And I
know a lot of people have a fucking axe to grind with him, and whatever. I personally like him, but my concern with the march that was coming up and just passed on the weekend was like, one, it was in Canberra, which no one wants to fucking go to on Anzac Day weekend, which means that other people just want to chill at home at a time when there's no one at Parliament. So you were only ever going to get a few hundred people to turn up, and then I
freaks,
saw some
and
of
it
the
would be
footage,
freaks.
and some of them were freaks.
Yeah.
Like there was someone screaming at Pauline to look up at the sky because there was
because of the chemtrails, yeah. And then like Chris Coveries kept bumping into these like old ladies from the COVID marches. So we're going, oh, there's none of the old crew here. Oh, I came down to see all my friends. Like,
see Shazza and Crystal.
Fuck, man.
It was like
I think that
sort of bizarro Kath and Kim episode. And
the sad thing about it, I just think the really sad thing about it is that Scott's messaging on immigration on the day was the best and most forceful messaging that's been delivered by someone who's not likely to end up in a prison cell.
Yeah, he had people like this. He had people like chanting, "Send them back."
Yeah, and and I was pissed at Chris because I think Covery's got there late or something. And so when his stream starts, I think he just caught Pauline or he just caught the end of Scott. But like what Scott was saying, like, you know, moving the dial forward, talking about remigration, talking about below net zero, because I saw his interview with the mainstream journo afterwards. Where they were like harassing him on like, oh, do you really think like below net zero migration? He was just going, fuck yeah. Like, yeah, that's what we're doing. Like the messaging was really great. It was just unfortunate that like no one wants to go to Canberra, man. Like, I don't even want to go to Canberra. I have to go there next week. I'm going there for like less than 24 hours because it's
I don't even want to go there when I get paid to go there.
Yeah, like name one good restaurant in Canberra.
I will, right?
Yeah. There is like there is actually a significant amount of money you could pay me to go to Canberra, but like it's a lot, like it's a lot more than any political operative could pay. Like I just think that was the unfortunate thing. But I mean, look, it's only one part of his project. I do really support what he's doing with the actual Australian lobby group, and you know, I hope I think maybe the message he should take from this is to pivot away from the public events and pivot towards the fact that One Nation, and we'll get to the One Nation troubles later on, but like One Nation are in a lot of not political trouble, but like logistical trouble. Yeah. And that's what's coming out from every piece of intel. Every single person involved is feeding us is that, yeah, the numbers are up, people support us, but they can't organize a route in a brothel or a dance in a strip club.
It's frustrating too, because like the same guys that we've spoken to, and I have as well, have like offered these guys help internally to be like, hey, like we'll help out with some of this ground game stuff, and you just get hit with this fucking like wall of silence from people who I don't know what the deal is.
But I know the reason why, and I fully respect it. The reason why is because One Nation does not want to bring in people who only started supporting them when they hit 25%. So they preference all the guys who've been there since they were at 7%. Now, that is a really admirable thing and good for them. But you've got to know your limitations. And what it means is that they really need to be looking at guys like us who, you know, all we want is cash, like, or not even that much cash, like just like the normal consulting wages. And we won't even tell people we're doing it. Like, I have enough scope in the week to do it, right? We wouldn't even tell anyone. And if the media came asking, I'd just lie. There's actually no law against lying when you're doing campaign work. You can only not lie about being a lobbyist. So they need people like that to do it. I think what they're worried about is that they let in too many people to do these jobs, and then they start scratching around going, well, I want a Senate spot. I want one of these easy to get seats, which is a very reasonable reaction for them to have. But they have to know their own limitations. Like, and that these guys, there was a reason these people stuck with them when they were at 7%, which is that they were unemployable anywhere else. And that's how they ended up with the rape guy, and how they've ended up with their entire parliamentary team. Because they couldn't go anywhere else. They couldn't get other jobs.
And the problem is that I think sometimes these guys see like the groundswell that's happening and just sort of think that it's manifest destiny. And it's like, well, the groundswell is happening because you guys occupy the right space that the people are resonating with right now. But, and we've spoken about this before, people view voting for One Nation as an act of rebellion because the system is fucking, right?
Yeah.
If you do not organize and delegate and actually like hone your organization, now that you're at this like precipice of becoming like the main opposition, if you do not sort this out quickly and things stumble or falter, rebellions quickly dissipate. So you need to keep that in mind. And look, and they're probably going to walk at home in Farah.
But also like
Farah and then take away the wrong lessons, which is, we walked at home in Farah, we don't have to change anything.
Well, this is why I think they will do well in Farah, but I also think that the situation in Farah is a lot better than the situation in Nepean, where because they have a legacy of professional guys with roots stretching a long way back into and we've talked about this with guys like John Lawson on the show, right? Some of these guys have roots into the origin of Australian nationalism, right? These guys from the Graham Campbell days, right? So there's people in New South Wales that have always been there that are helping them, that I think is probably one of the reasons they'll do better. But everything we're hearing out of Victoria is that the place is a total shit show. And, like we've always said, they have to do well everywhere. It's not enough to just do well in some places. And that's my big fear, is that, the momentum is kind of blunted because they just can't perform, because they just do dumb shit. And that's what we've seen from them this week. Like the Liberals, I've said it so many times on this show, right? The Liberals are only good at one thing. That's campaigning, right? They're not good at running countries. They're not good at stopping boats. They're not good at winning wars. They're only good at one thing. They're good at campaigning. I'm good at campaigning because they're good at campaigning, and they taught me how to be good at it. And when you look at the smear campaign that guys I know in the Liberals and the Nationals are running right now, it's spectacular. It's exactly what I do. The piece the Nationals are running right now on that Sean Black guy, that's the best piece of collateral the Nationals have put together in 20 years, right? And this just goes to show how good these guys can be when they're under threat. And what was One Nation's response to that? Is to go, we're going to run a clean campaign, guys. Are you fucking morons? You can't run a clean campaign against these people.
You need to be killers, so I've got a lot of normie mates who don't work in politics, and one of the ways I try and explain sort of political campaigning to them is I say, in the real world, when you get in a fight, you don't kick someone when they're down. In politics, when they're down, you fucking kill them, right? And
as I said,
the coalition is down. They are your main competitor. You should be stepping on their fucking throat at every opportunity.
But the thing that I said on Twitter today is that, you don't have to go apocalyptic if you just go negative early and often and consistently. And if you had have run that campaign from day one with a negative and a positive message running adjacent to each other, a negative message on how the Liberals on things like Moira Deeming, on things like the lobbying complex inside the Liberal Party, on all the myriad failures. I mean, I would have gone and said, they're going to do high-rise for immigrants in Nepean, and just said, this is the Liberals' housing policy. They're going to build high-rise everywhere. If you had have done that early on and maintained it, then when they do the One Nation are going to cancel a hospital, come on, it's One Nation. That's the best you could do. A hospital, and One Nation are freaking out about the hospital, right? One Nation's only option now to claw back the 2 to 3 that they'll probably lose is they got to go apocalyptic in the last 48 hours, right? So they got to put together a serious hatchet job and really smear them. Now, that makes everyone uncomfortable. No one likes doing that except for me. But you don't have to do that if you go early and often. And I hope this is the lesson that they learn, is that if going negative makes our rank and file people uncomfortable, I don't know why it would. Maybe they're cucks or something. Then, you've got to go a little bit negative and be consistent, because otherwise you will have no other option. Right.
I mean, they were given a layup with the Liberal Party guy that got selected. No one, even the members, don't like him. So there's plenty there to work with.
They're probably still going to romp at home, right? And I want them to romp at home. They're really cagey about this stuff. Like, any kind of feedback that isn't "you guys are amazing and doing awesome and can do no wrong," they take as an attack. And it's no, this is helpful feedback, because I actually want to.
We're just trying to help. I am a bit worried about them in the Nepean for the simple reason that, like, I've seen like 3 leaked polls out of Farah now, and like 2 of them have 4s in front of them, right? And they're leaked out of One Nation. One Nation haven't leaked a single shred of paper from UComs, who I understand are doing their internals. Haven't leaked anything out of Nepean, which suggests. I know that UComs were like super shitty about the Farah leaks, but I mean, if Nepean was good, there'd be leaked UComs polls. Leonardo Puglisi, who's probably watching us right now, he would have leaked it. Him and I were just talking before the stream, saying, "Have you seen anything out of Nepean?" And I said, "Nah, bro, I haven't seen a thing." Like, so
Nepean is a weird one for people who aren't in Melbourne. Like, it's essentially a holiday destination with a semi-rural kind of teal part in the Flinders side, and then there's almost a mortgage belt. As you get to Dramana and Rosebud, it's not Farah. Like, what about Safety Beach?
Safety Beach. Whenever I hear a name in Victoria, I'm like, really? You guys named it that? Jeez.
So it used to be called Shark Bay, and then
was that offensive?
No,
is that offensive to all the shark victims?
No, this is like
someone got eaten.
They're like, oh, people are scared. Let's call it Safety Beach.
That's legit what happened. It was someone
really?
got
I just
eaten,
made that up.
So that's actually what really happened. Dude, come on, really?
There's no sharks in the bay, so it is pretty safe.
I wish that Victorian Independent. Remember that Victorian Independence Twitter account? I wish he was still on Twitter so I could tweet that at him. The penguin guy. I used to back when I lived in Sydney. I used to feud with that guy all the time, but now I don't live there. I'm like, I don't really care about Sydney, and like he doesn't really care about Tasmania, so it just doesn't have the same kind of tension. But yeah, Jesus.
But yeah, I mean, it will be an interesting one. It's because I don't know, like Portsea, Sereno, and it's really just rich mansions, but how many of them are actually registered down there?
Did you know the old member, the one who got poleaxed?
Sam Groth.
Sam Groth. He seemed cool to me. I liked him. Like, what was the problem there?
Well, you know what? He was the leak against him.
Which was because his wife was unusually young or something. Like, not problematic.
Some context. I can be the context.
Skull. Context skull. Context. Uncle Skull is going to give us some context on Sam Groth, who I just saw look like a regular lad, but now we're going to find out he's problematic.
Well, he was 6'6", and I've always said that you have to be at least 6 foot to lead the Liberal Party, which is why John Pesutto had to go. But he essentially.
That's big.
He's tall. He's tall. I mean, I don't know if he's 6. Yeah, he's fucking. He's big. He's a big unit. But he met his wife when she was 16, and he was her tennis coach, and he was about 21, 25, something like that. Which is not. It wasn't a secret, and I mean,
so long as they just met, like if they just met, it was just like a 16-year-old you knew, and then I don't know,
and then he went to her formal, and then. But I mean, in the end, like if the parents don't have a problem with it, she doesn't have a problem with it. I don't think anyone really had a problem with it.
As long as no one has a problem with it. And then they got married. Like it's not like she's running off to Lisa Wilkinson or anything.
Exactly.
Like,
except for a certain member, Southern Metro member for the Liberal Party, who is the source of all the leaks against any half decent right wing movement in the party.
Okay.
I mean that I'm not even breaking news. Everyone kind of knows this stuff, but I'm pretty sure Groth just couldn't deal with it, and his wife, I think, pulled the pin on him. Yeah.
Oh, she broke up with him.
No. I think she told him to.
Oh, she said, "Well, good for him, man. Like that's good. Like preferencing your Stacey over a career in the shittiest Liberal division. No offense, Skull, but like it is the shittiest Liberal division. Actually,
I agree.
Tasmania's pretty bad.
But
considering how many times we've shared state directors, I guess.
True. Aussie bloke said he was the mayor of Frankston. No, you're thinking of the Irish dude. Sam Groth was a tennis player. He's just
right. Okay.
I didn't mind him. He was all right bloke.
It's such a weird job to have. But, professional tennis player into politician. We should get him on the show. But you know what? I was writing something about this. In fact, it was in my last Substack piece, and I'm sorry for everyone that I haven't written one in a while, but I've just been too happy to write my usual maudlin prose. But I said this about how the best political candidates should be people from like solo sports, right? Like you want people with that kind of like Faustian spirit, like a tennis player or a skier.
I've been told you can't work as a team though. Is the criticism?
Good. We need dictators.
Need more Caesars.
Yeah, we need more Caesars. Yeah.
On the worst division of the Liberal Party, did you see the Brian Loughnane is going to be the next president?
Oh, box.
You know what? I'm a big Loughnane defender. Like, I actually don't mind him. I always thought he was a good guy. Like, as president, like it's purely ceremonial. Like, good for him. Like, yeah, I don't think that's going to be a big deal. And also, he's super competent. Like, he was always really good at his job, which is something you can't say for a lot of the people they've had since. So, they should be trying to get him back as federal director. Find out how much you need to pay Brian to be federal director, so it's at least a contest. Because he was fucking good, man. Like, he was an amazingly good director.
And Peter will be floating around then. Can I claim that as a Dinesh scalp as well, Phil Davis, or is that kind of removed?
Yeah, just claim it as another one. Yeah.
Because a few of those.
That's still the funniest Ozpol thing of this year for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%, dude. Listen. If you're going to do this professionally, take my advice. You just claim any scalp adjacent to anything you possibly touch. Like,
yeah.
I am reported to be responsible for so many scalps that I just happen to be in the same room as, or in some cases in the same building as when it happened. So take it. Like that's how you build a career in dirt. Is
like ask me about my role in helping Canavan become Nat's leader because and I'm like, all right.
Brian Marlow made Matt Canavan the Nats leader. Like he's the reason he went to March for Prosperity for Liberation of the Australian front on Saturday. Which, you know what, like good on Canavan for going to that. Have you watched his speech? Where he's in his daggy flanny and he's saying, "Yeah, we're going to have lots of migrants building Commodores." Or something.
Oh, I didn't. Look. I must admit, I didn't watch much of it. I tuned in when someone was screaming at Pauline Hanson to look at the sky for chemtrails, and I tuned out. I couldn't.
I was super hungover, and so I was in a hotel, and so I was like in bed, and I just couldn't be bothered getting up. So I did like the late checkout, and then just watched that stream for the entire morning. And so I watched the entire thing, like, and it's so weird doing it because you feel like you're in Chris Covery's head, like you're seeing everything from Chris. I reckon the weirdest thing would be to put on a VR headset and just to like experience life as Chris Covery's a day. Like, yeah, you're walking around like having these really awkward conversations with people, like about the dumbest things imaginable. Like,
I mean, it's
Japanda Kaiser just said, "Someone make a you got sculled gif." I mean, I wish I had have started my career in dirt with a cool nickname. Like, see, that's what's going to happen to you. So you'll go into it already as the Skull. That's fantastic. Like, I think through that whole thing, I was there for years. I never got a nickname. Like,
you should like literally just have a shitty website where you can start posting like things that you've dug up as Skull. Like,
Skulls, scalps.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And it makes me think of Kimberly Kitching, her husband. So my understanding is when Kimberly Kitching was running for pre-selection to become a senator, her husband at the time was bankrupt. And so
Andrew Landieu, great man.
Yeah, and he quickly realized that when you're bankrupt, no one can sue you for defamation because what do they get? So he just fucking defamed everyone.
You guys are probably too young to remember the glory days of Vex News. Before the Noticer, before Twitter, there was Vex News run by Andrew Landieu. And it was basically like the same energy that we do on Stream of Consciousness, right? Like it's just like the dumbest like dirt that was probably not true. Like, remember that time I came on the stream and said that Dean Shakar was dating Susan Lee's daughter?
I chose to believe it.
Like, yeah, I still choose to believe it. But Landy used to run stuff like that like every single day. But not only that, but back then you had open comments. And like Alex Hawke would be in the comments, like commenting on things. Like, it was the best website ever.
And my understanding is people would hit him with like concerns notice, and he'd be like, "What do you want? Like, fucking
what are you going to do?" Like, yeah. But the thing was, the difference between like him and someone like that nutjob from Kangaroo Court was like he was ironic and funny, whereas the Kangaroo Court guy is like, I live in a caravan on my sister's property, and
it's all just seething hatred. Whereas
and it's just sad. Yeah, whereas whereas Landy was like legitimately funny, and we need to bring that back. Landy, if you're watching, bring Vex News back.
Or like if there are any unemployed / bankrupt chuds who just feel like doing one, do it. Yeah, you got nothing to lose.
You got nothing to lose. You could be the next noticer. You know. Do you see in that thread with DeStefano before? There's that guy Ben McComb, and he always gets at me for writing for the neo-Nazi noticer. Like, tell you what, one of these days, I'm just going to flick out concerns notices to these guys and just say, all right, prove it. If you're going to call me a neo-Nazi, prove that it's a neo-Nazi website. Go on. Because in a defo case, that's on them. Like, if they want to claim the truth defense, they have to prove it. Good luck finding him. Yeah. Sebastian just said sock news. Maybe we could do that.
Maybe we should do it.
Maybe we could branch out into a
one of us will just take the L, claim bankruptcy for the sake of it, fuck it, and then just
Bruce Lehrman's in the chat. Should we ask Bruce? The only problem is I think if Bruce declares bankruptcy, I'm one of his creditors, so it would be weird. So I'd still have to get paid from it, but. Yeah, maybe we could do that. We could just run sock news under like fully owned and operated by Bruce Lehrman. Yeah, chief editor Bruce. And it's just Bruce running stories every day saying sloppy Nick McKenzie fails again.
Oh shit! I like this idea.
Yeah, it's just like it's a really good idea. Yeah, actually, Bruce just says Channel 10 aren't going to make him bankrupt. There we go, guys. We're just breaking more news on SOC.
Again, right? Like cancel your.
You heard it here first.
Cancel your Oz subscriptions. You're wasting your time. Yeah. Just tune into this retarded show.
Tune into Stream of Consciousness. Tomorrow's Bruce Lehrman bankruptcy news today on Stream of Consciousness, along with everything that's not fit to print about the Victorian by-election, about Farah. Searing commentary on the World Trade Center. I mean, welcome to country. Like, it's all here. Like, why do you need anything else? Yeah. We haven't really covered off on what's in the chat tonight.
Most of it's just people recommending Bluey episodes.
Right.
Hang on. Let's have a look. Anything in there that's...
I like guys talking about Vex News who are just revealing their age, like just self-doxing. Like, so Walmart Golem like cosplays as one of these like 25-year-old Nazis online. And it's like, oh yeah, I love Vex News. Oh yeah, okay. Well, now we know you're 40.
Now I know how old you are.
Yeah. Are they letting you do like knee push-ups at the NSN meets because you're old?
Oh,
we got some TLDs, we got Groff, we got Rancid Piss in My Ass, who is our favorite poster, says suggest first sock meetup be at the Conti with a bad amount of rack, because that's the one that Groff's wife owns, right? She's like she runs the Conti in Sorrento.
Yeah, that is a great pub.
The Sorrento Writers Festival is actually on this week, which I was really shitty I didn't get an invite to, because I thought, Australia's only right-wing writers festival. Surely they've read my Substacks. As Ben always points out, I have a Substack.
I saw someone was asking. Hang on, shit. Someone was saying, "Oh, what do we think about the gas export tax proposal?" I must admit I didn't look too much into it because at the same time they were doing a committee hearing on that, I was doing the one on productivity, so I didn't look at it. But I don't know. I kind of have no position either way on it.
I mean, look, sure, give it, like, we should have some more tax, but there's a more fundamental problem than that, which is that, like, what are we doing with it onshore? Why don't we have onshore oil and like oil? Why don't we have onshore gas? Like the system is designed for the export. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not so sure about that one. I mean, I was having a really interesting discussion actually today with that Gearside guy on just how bad Australian business is and how bad they are at actually making money. Like,
yeah,
when we talk about the particularly the resources industry, and we say, oh yeah, we need to claw back revenue for the Australian government, like, we have to remember these guys aren't actually making super profits because they're wasting so much money, and their shareholders aren't making money. The people who own these things aren't making money. They're making at best 20% ROE. Like, we want an Australia where people make super profits, where people are able to make big plays and become overnight millionaires. You know, I think some of this stuff is kind of punitive, and we really need to go all the way back and look at our tax settings, look at our corporate regulatory settings, and say, why is it that we keep losing? Not so much like, why are we just giving all this stuff away to other countries, but why isn't anyone making money out of it? Because and this is the honest truth, is the people making money off it aren't in our own country. And you see this across so many different sectors, right? You know, you look at Australia's like massive growth in gambling, and it all goes offshore because the Australian government won't give casino licenses. You look at things like, you know, down here in Tasmania, our salmon industry, which is entirely owned by Argentina, right? You look at our ports, which we've sold off to China. Right. This is the thing we got to be fixing, not just arbitrarily slapping taxes on exports, but actually saying, why aren't we keeping things in Australia at all?
Yeah.
I think it's, I know reading about this previously, Australia's always been a capital importer. You know, it's always been British capital and then American capital, then probably now
and
more Chinese and European.
Well, Chinese, well, it was Japanese and then it was Chinese. Hold on,
but now
gents, I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean, now we are a capital exporter, but then you have to ask why super funds and other fund managers are sending our money overseas, and whether, you know, the returns are even worth it.
Yeah, well, I'd argue they're not, right? And it's just, I don't know. It all just feels like this, like, slow hollowing out of this country, and it drives me up a fucking wall.
Well, on the gas, though, I had an argument with a fucking groiper who was saying, why can't we just take the LNG and bring it to Melbourne? And I just went, fuck, can't, like, where do you put it? You don't just rock up with a tanker full of LNG and put it somewhere. No, well, there's no your gasification. There's no terminal. So,
well, the other thing is like
the Labor government blocked it.
Go back to first principles, and why we're even having the discussion about gas. Australia was always just exporting gas. Why did gas become such a touchstone? And it was thanks to the Liberals and thanks to the Nationals, who didn't want to commit to net zero for good reasons, but also didn't have a viable alternative because they didn't want to lose seats anywhere you could put a nuclear reactor. And so they said, oh, gas is going to be the stopgap. And then it was hydrogen when Twiggy Forrest had that literal brain fart. And, you know, that's all gas ever was. It was always just a hedge. And I mean, we just need to forget about gas. Gas doesn't fucking matter in the future. What matters is, and I saw the argument from the guys who went to the Senate inquiry about how baseload power is an outdated term, but that's why I keep saying the only thing that matters is megawatts per hour, how much you're churning out, right? Build out nationalized energy infrastructure. That's it.
How can you say baseload isn't a thing when AI is like?
Well, no. So No, I read what the guy said, and so what he's effectively saying is that under the national energy market, the idea of base load is effectively redundant, which to an extent it is. But I mean, in a nationalized energy market, the NEM becomes redundant because the only reason that exists is because every state flogged off their gold-plated energy assets and their retail arms so that they could get money for, in the case of New South Wales, fantastic infrastructure, and in the case of everywhere else, literally no infrastructure. So, you know,
I mean, Queensland still owns it.
Well, Queensland's still got it, but I mean, Queensland's also got actual industry, and so Queensland's on a really tight margin, which is why you're not seeing much in the way of AI investment up there, because, you know, they can't afford to pay the discounts. This is why we have the thing down here in Tasmania where Firmus and increasingly more AI companies are circling, because down here in Tasmania we have massive headroom. Right, we've got daily demand or hourly demand running up to 1,400, 1,500 megawatts per hour, while gigawatts per hour are being churned out of the hydro. So the throttle, the bottleneck, is just in transmission infrastructure, which the AI industry is going to be willing to provide, because you're talking about like $15,000, you know, per hour in inference. They can afford it. So,
yeah,
you know,
transmitting data is cheaper than transmitting electricity.
So no one. But outside of that, I mean, there's really nowhere else. I mean, New South Wales is okay. South Australia is a fucking basket case. Like, you need the headroom. Firmus in Tasmania is looking at 10% of hourly demand. That's what it is. So the initial tranche of their project, it's called Project Southgate, they're looking at 90 to 104 megawatts per hour, which is 10% of the entire state's energy. I mean, the closest you get to that anywhere in the country previously would have been like the Tomago aluminium plant in New South Wales prior to its closure. They were using about 10%. And that's a fucking aluminium plant, like the biggest in the country, to give you an idea of how much energy these things are using. And they're looking at going all the way up to 300 megawatts by, I think, 2030. But, you know, no one's really thinking about this stuff. Like, no one's really thinking about, well, why do you need it? Why do you need the energy?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how much you spoke to Gearside and what these Build Australia guys are doing, but it seems like it, I don't know, you can just, it's nice to have a graphics and a website and write essays and talk about crypto and stuff. It's just like, what are you actually going to fucking do, though?
I mean, yeah, and like, that's exactly right. I mean, good for those guys for getting something off the ground, but also at the end of the day, like, yeah, and this is what I said to him in that thread today, is like, well, you talk about tax reform, talk about reforming Australian like corporate regulations, but, you know, you're not just going to wave a magic wand and say, okay, we can do business now and do stonks. Like, it doesn't work like that at all.
And like the only real sector who's had massive productivity gains is agriculture.
Well, AI has been an enormous boon for agriculture as well as automation.
Yeah.
Right?
So where is this productivity going to come from? Like, we're going to rebuild a manufacturing sector?
We're not going to rebuild a manufacturing sector. That's not what the future is going to look like. I mean, I said this on the last stream last week, and it was I even clipped it, which, if you know how technologically illiterate I am, how much effort that took, is, you know, in the future, all that's going to matter is that you have an energy surplus, right? It's not, no one's going to give a fuck if you're churning out Commodores. No one's going to care, because no one's going to fucking buy them. Like, the only thing that matters is that you have a big enough energy surplus to maintain artificial intelligence for services and automation for public services. That's it. And if you don't have an energy policy, you have nothing. One Nation right now doesn't have an energy policy, which should deeply concern people, right? And if you have any influence at all online, if you've got any clout, if you know anyone, you know, I mean, look, they're going to do on immigration whatever Gina tells them to do on immigration, which is going to be to say it's bad unless they're working down a mine. But beyond that, long term, we need to be having a serious discussion about energy in this country and what it looks like. And, you know, we need a long-term plan to acclimatize people to nuclear, and that's going to mean a long-term policy on how to have a national energy product.
We need Will Shackle on the show. The autistic nuclear kid.
Is he even allowed on social media after the social media bans?
He's probably like 23 now or something.
He's fucking 12.
He's probably ripping Ket with Wyatt Roy in Dubai, talking about building small modular reactors.
So really, the future of Australia is energy surplus and weapons manufacturing to defend it.
Yeah, big guns like missile defense, drones, and long term out beyond that is quantum computing, which is one of the few strategic strengths that Australia has right now. When you talk to anyone like thinking about like the real tip of the spear, like I mean, they say, well, yeah, like in 20 years, Australia might have a competitive advantage so long as it doesn't shit the bed in the meantime, and another country doesn't figure out a way to steal all our talent. But prior to that, it's energy and guns.
This is kind of back to a couple of the guys, Hot Rails. I don't know if anyone's seen him on Twitter as well. He's talked about nationalizing oil production, or I suppose oil refining, and it amortizes to about 4 or 5 cents a liter when you hit
100%.
It's like
my view on every single energy adjacent product in this country that we could potentially greenlight for production from now into the future for any right winger and any of our policies should be nationalized, right? If we want to do the Great Australian Bight and do oil, it should be nationalized. If we want to do Bass Strait, it should be nationalized. If we want to fucking, go back around and get back our territory in East Timor that the ABC conspired to take from us, it should be nationalized, right? Gas should be nationalized. Any future projects, we should be looking to nationalize future coal projects for the purposes of domestic production, domestic manufacturing capacity, right? From here on in, anything adjacent to energy should be nationalized, because what the future will hold for smart countries is that's your entire tax base and your sole utility, right? Yep. A nation state will be whatever model it wants, whether it's parliamentary democracy or, big boy communism or, a king, but its entire function will be to provision energy. That's it. And you will tax that. And little people like us won't even get taxed. It'd actually be inefficient to tax Joe Dickhead using a few watts a day on scrolling OnlyFans and running his fucking what are those things? There's like it'll be inefficient to actually tax us, right?
Yeah.
You just tax the people who are using megawatts per hour, right?
I think this is This is why we need to kind of make sure AUKUS gets in. We get our hands on a couple of nuclear reactors. We can actually start building a nationalized nuclear system. Put a fucking nuclear reactor in Karratha, and every fucking ton of iron that goes out of there gets refined by national.
Because the transmission infrastructure for the rest of the country is too expensive.
No, but I had this criticism. All that reactor in Karratha does is make iron and aluminium and whatever the fuck they bring out of there.
Dude, we're talking like thousands of gigawatts, right? Like, so when you have a nuclear reactor, like you can power states. In fact, you can power probably 2 southern states with one using like late 1970s, early 1980s designs. So this was always the problem with Dutton's policy. Dutton's policy was always this electoral thing where like, we're going to use these magic small modular ones that don't exist yet, and we're going to have 7 of them and put them all over the place. That was dumb. Because you're still going to have the NEM and you're still going to have IPART setting energy prices state by state. First things first, go to New South Wales, go to where the desalination plant is, which, God, I can't even remember the suburb now. It's near the airport. And it's very close to where Lucas Heights already is. Stick it down there as big as you can get it, plug that into the NEM to drive down prices everywhere else as a proof of concept. And then once that's there and you're bootstrapping massive investment in data centers across all that land that they've unlocked beyond Badgerys Creek, all that defense manufacturing, which is already approved but not yet built around Badgerys Creek. Kernel, is the place I'm thinking of. You just do it there and you just wear the electoral pain, you wear the protests, whoever's in power loses a bunch of seats, and then you prove the system works after the fact. And then you do one in Queensland, and then you do one in probably actually in South Australia that also powers Victoria. But you build them big, right? There is only one company in the world that is very good at building nuclear reactors. That company is Bechtel. It's a private company owned by the Bechtel family. In the United States, they not only build nuclear reactors, they hold the contract with the Atomic Energy Commission to regulate nuclear reactors. So they're poacher and gamekeeper. They build them and they decide how they're built and the safety standards to which they're built. Bechtel had never had a presence in Australia until about 5-6 years ago. They came down and they bid for the construction of Badgerys Creek Airport and they won it, both tranches. So we now have Bechtel here in Australia, right? The world's best nuclear reactor builders. So the whole argument that the left put up, which is, oh, Australia doesn't have the expertise, it'll take too long. No, fuck you. You can go down, you can pick up the phone to John Bechtel and get the expertise and pay him to do it, right? And the reality right now is that there is no amount of money for that much energy that is too much. If it costs $1 trillion, that's the right amount of money, right? Because it's the only way Australia is going to right itself.
It's only 5 years of NDIS spending.
Yeah, it's only like the gross property value of Mossman. Like it's it's only like the Bondi Meriton.
One thing I was thinking about that you spoke about last week, or I don't know, a few weeks ago, talking about Labor right being the last hope for Australian conservatism. And you was talking about the risk that One Nation guts the Labor right of the party and Labor left actually fully take over. My concern is that if that happens before we get these Virginia-class submarines, then AUKUS will actually be dead, nuked, gotten rid of.
I have no optimism for AUKUS. I think AUKUS is dead. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. Because it's just such... I think probably in Trump is such a transactional guy. I really think Trump doesn't see AUKUS as benefit to the United States. He sees it as another bargaining chip. And I think what he's probably doing is sitting there going, well, where's my rare earths, bitch? Like, you promised me lithium. Remember that? Has everyone forgotten that we went over there and we promised all those lithium mines? Yeah, it was like last year. And
yeah, we sent Kevin Rudd on like a shame tour and then offered that up as
we sent Kevin Rudd to the United States, crawling around like the guy from what was that? Like the gimp from Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking of another gimp from another movie. But anyway, and that was the promise, right?
That he was sent
the key point is he was sent out like a gimp, and he promised all these lithium mines that we were going to build, and that the Americans are going to be like drowning in cheap Australian lithium. You guys checked lithium prices lately? It hasn't fucking happened.
Does Trump even care though?
Yeah, I think he really cares about his rare earths. Like, they care about bootstrapping like domestic. Like United States superconductor manufacturer, like they care about building iPhones in fucking Silicon Valley. Like they care about that shit. You know, they care about competing with Chinese blade battery development. So, and we were a key part of that. And I think like he's just probably just going to forget about AUKUS now, and it'll be like the early days of our F-35 program where they were just like, okay, well, you're fucking around, so we're not going to help you. And maybe someone in the future resuscitates, but I don't know. I think it's dead in the water. I don't think it's going to come off.
But like, do they need that? You know, lithium is like what 30% of what it was in 2022. Like, I don't think lithium's that expensive at the moment.
No, but they need a lot of it. Like, and also because they've got but they've
Yeah,
got
there's plants
massive,
going on.
massive supply out of China. Because do you know how they get lithium? Right.
Yeah,
So
you
find
bake it like salt, right?
No, you just find lithium-rich soil and you dump it in pools full of
Yeah.
hydrochloric acid, and then guys go out in waders and they just scoop it up in China. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
they
we
look like
obviously
salt
couldn't do that
farms.
here. Yeah, we obviously couldn't do that here. We'd have like fucking Fair Work crawling up our ass. We'd have to, I don't know, give
Uncle
them hard
Grifter.
hats or high vis or something. I went to a lunch with a geologist who was shilling for rare earth exploration here in Tasmania, and we were at the Tasmania, not the Tasmania Club, the Athenaeum Club, which is like directly across the road from Davey Street, from the St David's Park. If you're from Tasmania, if you've ever been to Tasmania, so you know where that is. And halfway through his like lecture, he like got up, and we all went across the street, and he got up out of trowel. And he just dug down 1 foot and put some soil in there and then poured in hydrochloric acid. And he said, this is how much lithium is in Tasmanian soil. And like what went to the surface was like 30 cents worth of lithium from 1 trowel of Tasmanian soil. Right. And he said, like, if you go into the Tarkine rainforest, that same amount would have like $3 in it. And it's all over the fucking state. Like, we're one of the most lithium-rich places in the country. But yeah, good luck. Good luck trying to get that out of the ground in Tasmania. What else we got in the chat, guys?
Not much. People talking about some of it. I'm trying to think like what else sort of happened this week and last week. Not much.
Did we talk about Rukshan and Beck Freedom? Or was that last week?
No, we haven't talked
pretty
about
fucking
that.
funny, though.
But so context capybara for that.
Yeah, context Uncle Skull. Give us the skinny on Rukshan versus.
I didn't get that deep into it, but didn't they?
Didn't you?
Beck Freedom created a video just saying we're going to deport them all. And
I don't think she created it.
Okay,
we should
Mark's like reposting one.
I think Brian knows more. Yeah.
So
context, Brian. Yeah.
So Beck set up Fight for Australia, which is now a new subsidiary after a falling out with March for Australia, because some of the guys behind March for Australia correctly pointed out that if it's called March for Australia, then it doesn't make any sense to then set up like a nationalist Rotary Club, which seems to be what Beck wanted to do. So she then created Fight for Australia, and then at some point, some like video has popped up on their page, basically with like a weird sort of Wigger slop tune, saying that we need to like deport everyone and calling them rapists and all this kind of stuff. And in that video, Rukshan's included, right? So Rukshan has taken offense to that. My understanding is like he reported it for racial vilification and then also threatened to sue.
So he says, yeah,
for defamation. Yeah. And again, it's like another scenario where it's all so tiresome. Like I know that we're not meant to like infight, but I'm really sick of like this sort of just sloppy crap. Like I saw the video, and I'm a big remigration proponent. It was just shit.
Yeah, I don't need a rap song to tell me about it. Thanks.
Yeah, like I don't need like some sloppy Wigger rap telling me that we should like, deport.
I believe the genre is called drill. I think that's what the kids are calling it nowadays. It's called drill.
Again, absolutely haram. And
yeah, it is. It is.
Someone said Joanna Howe in the video.
Oh, really? No, actually, no, it did. It also had a picture of Joanna Howe. Yeah,
yeah. So it's just like this low grade like slop, and it just kills me, man. And
I know
you actually, but like if you don't like Rukshan, and a lot of people don't like Rukshan, why would you give him this like unforced error to just completely annihilate you over? It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I have like no sympathy for any of them, but I do like. I mean, look, this is kind of what I was saying to Mark DiStefano earlier on Twitter. Is like I do kind of think in a lot of ways. I mean, like we don't, but everyone does kind of deserve this. Like this is the end result of everything that's happened. Like the failure of, when you look at how, any reasonably intelligent right winger in our country has been closed out of academia. In the case of some of our top guys, like, look at what happened to Dr. Stephen Shavura and Dr. McInerney in just the last year, right? How the smartest people in Australian conservative politics are pilloried, how you can't get on TV. Like the most right-wing person on Australian television on any given day is Gray Connolly. He may not even be allowed to do that anymore. And then they wonder why these things happen, right? And this is the thing with Rukshan, right? These guys, I mean, a lot of them, and I count Rukshan and Avi and Topher in this milieu. I mean, they're like adjacent to the mainstream media now. They're shilling for like an audience. A mega audience, when what our movement is leaving behind is the days of mass engagement, right? The future is in micro engagement. The future is in a few hundred sock puppets.
Yeah, the future is in a small vanguard, right? Like
it's just you making content for your friends and then making content for you, and no one's going to be starting a media empire out of this, right? That's what all these guys need to get in their heads. Like I've talked to some guys in like media and advertising recently who've been telling me just like how much these guys are like low key struggling, right?
Yeah.
Go and watch their content, right? Go to their streams and run the first. You don't have to watch the whole thing because it's tedious. But watch the first 5 minutes and you tell me how many products they're promoting, right? Because when you look at the scale of what they're trying to do, don't you think they'd be getting some advertising? When you look at how they cuck themselves on their messaging, don't you think they'd be getting some product endorsements? But they're not, because the Australian market isn't big enough. Friendly Geordies gets ads. Isaac Butterfield gets ads. Sam Bamford's doing really well for himself. But the rest of these guys...
There's like 4 or 5 seats available, right, within that content space where you'll be able to actually generate a proper income through sponsorships and all that kind of stuff. Outside of that, it's just buying coffees all the way down, and it's
I know the solution, guys. We need Anzac branded sock puppet.
Sock, and sock. What was the thing from 1984? Ink sock. We do like Eng Sock. We do a collaboration with British Australian community, Eng Sock. Like that could work. Ang Sock. But actually, that reminds me of one of my other favorite things that happened this week, which was that bloke who does all the merch, the merch guy. He makes all the t-shirts.
He was like
for these guys, and he went on Twitter and just took a steaming shit on Topher for being a prick. I thought that was hilarious.
I saw
that. Was one of my favorite tweets of the week.
He was saying that like he used to print all of his t-shirts and other merch, and then they're a small sort of family-run business, and I think his claim was that he had a family emergency and some issues going on, so they needed to take a temporary hiatus, and then allegedly Topher just went straight to Chinese manufacturing. Yeah,
just straight to China. It was like hire more people. Yeah, like have you noticed Topher's been getting super into One Nation recently? Like, I mean, Topher, from what we were saying before about why doesn't One Nation hire good people, like Topher is the reason for that. Like, because they're now on 30%, and now it's guys like Topher are coming out of the woodwork going, "Oh, I love One Nation now." Like the 2-time Libertarian of the Year, Topher Field, is now One Nation pilled.
Green Goblin saying Oz versus the agenda should be paid more than he. Yeah, so agree.
100%, man, 100%. Yeah.
If there's anyone who should be allowed to occupy one of those like 4 or 5 seats that we were talking about, it should be him. But yeah, like I think you're right. I think Bully Pulver kind of summed it up in the comments. What we need is like right wing Leninism when it comes to some of this content, because it doesn't work otherwise.
Well, that's why we're here. I mean, we need to be probably more aggressive in calling this stuff out. so that everyone just gets clips at the end of every show, just like all the slop that stream of consciousness called out, ad free. Like, do not buy me a coffee. I do not drink coffee.
Yeah.
We should. I'm going to start a merch store where it's just plain black t-shirts with nothing on it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to take anyone's money.
Yeah. Like
you can all send it to me if you want.
It's just
buy a John
Kmart
McGowan t-shirt.
t-shirt.
Yeah, it's just a Kmart. Actually, which ones do I wear? Not from Kmart. I get mine from ASOS. I get mine from ASOS. So
I'm a Uniqlo kind of guy.
Yeah. The Aristocrat Tacombe, he was a good poster. He's saying Australia can't do lithium right now because roasting hard rock lithium in sulfuric acid is expensive. Wow, man. Aristocrat Tacombe knows about his lithium. He says spodumene direct lithium extraction will change the game. Okay. All right. I'm putting Aristocrat Tacombe on my list of guys to call for my lithium business. And then we get a Bruce Lehrman, sloppy Nick McKenzie.
That would be a good t-shirt.
I'm into it. I'm really into this idea of having a sock news outlet.
Sock News run by Bruce Lehrman and funded by buying sloppy Nick McKenzie t-shirts. I think we could do this. Actually, speaking of sloppy Nick McKenzie, I think one of the white pills, like putting aside all the kind of political acrimony over the World Trade Center, one of the nicest things I think to come out of Anzac Day was that incredible stand-up that BRS did.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Make him Prime Minister for life.
Wow. That was great. Like,
yeah.
I think shout out to Drew, who's been fully behind him. I think leading most people.
Yeah, but that's because I strongly suspect Drew has also done war crimes when he was in Ukraine a few years back. Like he was playing pretty fast and loose. Like he was just driving down to Donetsk, like throwing hand grenades over fences. I probably that's why Drew is funny about it.
He's dropped a few fucking Russian cunts.
Yeah, just not enough room in the helicopter, mate. Sorry.
Green Goblin saying DRS is our Rupert Lowe. Maybe. Maybe. We've been asking.
Maybe. We have been praying. We've all been praying for a Rupert Lowe to deliver us from the sloppiness.
Is there a conspiracy theory between Hasty and BRS? Did you raise this, John, or?
No, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just like the kind of internal culture of those teams and how there was like this deep divide between the qualified officers and the actual fucking pipe hitters. And Hasty was on the other side of that. And so that's why he...
Yeah, maybe it wasn't you. Someone was saying that maybe he's been backgrounded because BRS was looking at a run in politics and this whole saga.
Yeah, but they're on different sides of the country. Like, wouldn't they both want to be in there? I mean, Australia's one of the only countries that actually hires these guys. Like, we're now up to like our third XSAS political guy. Like, surely he'd want more. Like, they should theoretically share the same values. I don't think it's that. I mean, I think the thing that's become very clear about Hasty, and I feel bad for ever even feeling vaguely like he was the one, was that he will just go whichever way the wind blows, right? Like he does not have an ideological bone in his body beyond, the most tepid, middle of the road Liberal Party membership form ideology.
Shakespearean.
Yeah, okay, the guy can read Shakespeare. So can I. If you saw Sock a couple of weeks ago, I did a reading of Coriolanus live. So yeah, I don't think I don't think any of this has got to do with anything. I think it's just Hasty is, his own kind of grifter might actually be the God's honest truth. And also the thing we found out about him was he's a fucking coward. Obviously not in the military sense. I'm sure he did some fucking shooty, stabby stuff, whatever. But I just mean in a political sense. Like he had his chance. He could be the leader of the Liberal Party right now, but he didn't want to do it.
Well, because again, he's not a Caesar, and this country needs a Caesar.
Yeah, we need a Caesar, right?
There's someone out there.
Someone out there. It could be one of you guys. I mean, maybe let's have a vote in the chat. Which sock puppet do you most want to see run the country? Obviously, you guys know who it's going to be for me. I'm going to vote for Rancid Piss in my ass.
It comes down to Rancid Piss in my ass, Pussy Terrorist.
Well, Pussy Terrorist. I mean, we're basically reeling off the names of our cabinet now. Like, yeah, Pussy Terrorist is going to be our foreign minister. We're just going to send Pussy Terrorists to all the all the different countries. Well,
special envoy to the Middle East.
Sometimes my wife asks me, like, what did you talk about on the show? And I just kind of go, don't worry about that.
Yeah, it's hard to explain to non-sock puppets what we actually do talk about, especially at this time of night. Like, I feel like when I hear feedback from people in the real world who do occasionally tune in, like they always talk about shit we say in the first hour, but I've never heard anyone say, hey, remember like in hour 2.5 when you guys were getting super loose? Like, no one's ever mentioned that to me. I think we get away with it. I think it's probably why we haven't been banned from YouTube. Just
yeah.
I'm 2 Asahis and 2 double strength gins in, so this is the time of night you want to tune in. Yeah,
I'm 4 Asahis, but I had a big dinner. I had a super big dinner. Yeah,
I got their bottles, so they're not quite as thick.
I've been buying actually the best value beer that I buy, because I don't know, for some, like, I have a small fridge. I don't want to fill the whole fridge up with beer because I need it for like butter and like Riesling. I get the 10 330 ml Asahis, and they're like 30 something bucks. Like, it's an amazing bargain. I don't know if they just do that here in Tassie, but yeah.
10. How do you buy 10?
So it's a box. It's like a long box, and it's got 10 330 ml cans of Asahi.
That sounds Tasmanian.
So I have
you can't get that in Melbourne. Obviously, it's something you can't get in Melbourne.
Buy them by the slab.
If we're talking about alcohol shilling, something that I have to shill for, it takes me back to sort of when I first got my license, was broke as fuck. Rivet beers from Aldi, because it works out to like a little bit more than like $1 a can. They taste like water. They get the job done.
Oh yeah.
Just like if you're going, like, you know, I don't know, you're camping up the beach with your mates to go fishing and stuff for a weekend, just buy a couple of slabs of rivets for not much money, because you'll sit in the sun. They go down like water, and oh my god. I saw them in Aldi the other day. It was like this memory just flooding back.
Yeah.
It's a Carde as well. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
My one of those is the Korean one, Cass Lager.
Oh yeah.
Because when this was like at the height of the COVID lockdowns, when I was like on the absolute fucking skids with like zero work, living off the fucking Scott Morrison director Gibbs and being sorry for myself. Like, they were $14.99 at the Korean grocery store on Harris Street in Piermont. And I would get to the end of the day and be like looking at the dwindling budget and go, can I afford the 6 Cass beers? And every single day for the entire lockdown, 6 Cass cans, playing Warzone, like playing like old school, like season 2 Call of Duty Warzone while smashing Cass beers. I had one at a Korean restaurant the other day, and it just all came flooding back. The misery, the frustration, the anger, the radicalization, all in one tiny 330 ml can. God bless you, Korea. 14 bucks though. Like, cheap as fucking beer.
I think I might for the next trend buy some rivets. We did the Crownies.
I got super into Crownies. Yeah,
I've been seeing different people take photos with Crownies post the Crownie plug.
But this is the influence of sock. Like, we do kind of incept people. Like, Carlton United should have paid us for that. We should have hit them up for that.
We should just send them an invoice and see what happens.
We should send them an invoice.
No, we need to do a sock, microbrewery, beer range. You know how every fucking influencer has a beer?
Yeah.
It's like a sock beer. And it's just a Crown Lager. It's just in a different can, though.
Yeah. like special forces guys with black rifle coffee. Like, start doing that. Yeah.
Oh man, we've been thinking about doing Sock Live one day if we're ever in the same town, and seeing what happens.
I think Melbourne's directly in between you two, isn't it?
Well, this time when we go, I won't go on stream drunk and just tell everyone the time and place where it is so Antifa can organize the protest. Sorry, John Lawson. Never again. Yeah, any future public appearances of the SOC team will be subject to strict secrecy requirements. Yeah.
Speaking of John Lawson, I did want to reference one of his posts this week on the on Arvy's new party. He said he said false flag event, Arvy, something original. I think it's a genetic memory for Arvy that he has to go through a false flag.
I loved how Arvy's like social media tile he did for it looks like it literally looks like an anti-Semitic poster from the fucking beginning of Nazi Germany.
I kind of like Arvy. He's fucking funny.
Like, I think he's inadvertently funny. I mean, I don't know. Like, I get what.
Yeah, I don't support him, but like, it's entertaining.
He's adjacent. He's basically just adjacent to Sky News to me. Like,
it's interesting how that happened though, because I remember like only 5 or 6 years ago, like guys like Arby were considered like, you know, super right wing, and then it just shows how much the ground has shifted, that they're sort of viewed as just Sky News, but on Rumble. Or
it's like the Cookerites split off a bit. I don't know if the left probably still sees them as as soon as we bring up Arvy, he's gone. I'm sure the left wing still think Arvy and Rukshan are the, next coming of Nazis. But obviously they are just
lefties. Half of lefties think fucking Geordies is right wing, right? Like, it's.
I mean, they're just sloppulist libertarian, right? Like that's how they made their name through the COVID lockdowns.
Yeah,
there's no real ideology. But I mean, I remember watching Rukshan streams during lockdowns. They were fucking funny.
Yeah, 100%.
They were entertaining.
I would disagree that there's no ideology. There is an ideology there, but it's an ideology. It's an ideology for a time that has passed, right? What this nation needs is something that's completely separate to what those guys are selling, and the mountain that we need to climb requires a skill set and a set of tools that they don't have, and so.
I don't think they're willing to. Yeah, they're not willing to make change. They just want to defend their rights or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mike's still on. Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Sorry, guys. I forgot to plug my laptop in, so my camera went flat. So I had to quickly plug everything into the power board.
That's all right.
I think I said last week on the stream that I was going to finally get around to swapping all this shit over onto another laptop, but I still haven't done it.
Can we please crowdfund for poor John McGowan and his new laptop and camera?
No, I have a fantastic new laptop. It's just, when you get a new one and you've got to fucking transfer everything across. And I have this app called VCam that I've forgotten the password to, and I have to go through a really complicated process to get it back. And so I just think it's just easier to use the old laptop than do that. So, yeah. But I heard you guys talking about Rukshan. So did you actually watch him during COVID?
I watched a couple of streams when he was out on the street, during some of those protests, right? And
the Westgate fucking march.
And
that was
even during
awesome.
The streams, some of it was intense, and I got to give him props for getting in there and actually recording what was going on. And sometimes he was kind of funny on the streams, but what we were saying is Sky was saying these guys aren't ideological, and I disagree. They are ideological. They do have an ideology, but the time has passed, and what they're selling is not what the nation needs.
I suppose I'm not saying they're not ideological, but their ideology is very libertarian,
it's
just
what we require.
Yeah.
They would have gone off in 2013, in the heyday of the Tony Abbott army. That's probably where they're positioned, I think. And I think they just kind of missed the whole zeitgeist of.
Well, I mean, they didn't really miss it. They're one of the two of the most popular kind of news.
No, they're not Skull. No, they're not. No, we
They're
are.
not?
We're
No?
this
Okay,
stream of consciousness is the most watched political stream on X. Right? Don't forget it. You're
I mean, they can afford.
I don't
to
think
do
they
it
even.
full time,
They don't even
surely.
stream on X anymore.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they get the
'Cause you know-
Zaya bucks. It's easy.
When we were shadow banned for those like 3 weeks, this was actually how I got it back, because you don't when you have to go through tech support with X, like you don't talk to Elon Musk, you just talk to Grok. And I just showed like from our live views from like the previous few weeks when we were doing about like 40 to 50,000 views. And I said, yeah, we're the most viewed live stream on X. And he's like, oh, wow, I'll have to fix that for you. I'm like, thanks, Grok. And next thing you know, and I actually got a refund of $300 for the promos we did in the period where we were, because like there were 2 weeks there where we did like 1,500, and they fully refunded it. And then like, did you see the numbers last week? Like,
I didn't.
We're up to 34K tonight.
Yeah, dude, check out the numbers from last week. Like, they are insane. Like, yeah, I doubt we'll get there this time, but yeah, streaming. Like,
what's interesting?
Okay.
I mean, look, Enoch's going to be losing his mind because again, we're talking shop again. But
this is the best part of the show. Like, we've got guys, yeah, we've got guys in the chat who live for the meta. This is the meta part of the show.
Yeah. But what's interesting is the minutes watched have like increased massively.
Oh, huge, dude! It's fucking ever since. So our minutes watched. So even just our minutes watched right now, we're on 25,000 minutes watched. Which, if I go back to our last week, so March 17 was the stream we did. It was the one I did with was it with Andrew Hennessy, I think, or was it with Buyback Capital? But that was like the last week before it fell apart.
Yeah,
and that was 37K for that entire stream, and we're already at 25K, and we haven't finished the stream. So,
yeah, gotcha.
Thank you, Elon. Thank you. I mean, because Drew bitches and moans every single day about the new algorithm, but for some reason, the algorithm is Elon has clearly designed it just to increase SOC's numbers. So that we can...
SOC is ascendant.
Yes, it's the SOC ascendancy. He's picked winners. Like, maybe we should just do a favor to Elon. We should just do like a 3 minutes of hate for Sam Altman. Scam Altman, as I like to call him.
I have to admit, like, I had a paid ChatGPT subscription for a while just because I sort of started using it with work and whatnot. I'm getting rid of it. I'm going to Grok. It's awful. It is.
I got rid of mine ages ago. Yeah, I've got the full package on Grok, and I've just got like the regular monthly one on Claude. And I haven't had ChatGPT in ages, and I just can't find a use for it. Like,
yeah, how do you find Claude?
It's really good for making little fucking janky apps. And this is the thing, like, they actually are janky. But actually, an interesting thing that I have a lot of success with is like you get the we lost Brian.
Yeah, Sam Altman's got him.
Everything just froze, so I'm just trying to undo that.
You're still frozen on my screen.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump out completely and then jump back in. I'll be like 30 seconds.
Yeah, because you're not moving on mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find that like I just stress test bugs and things on Grok it actually works really well. So
yeah, Grok got me one of Mark Brown's ABNs.
Yeah, and didn't Grok help you with the first one?
No,
Patel?
Not me specifically, but yes. Apparently, it did draw up Dinesh's reference in a court document.
The only problem with Grok is for the kind of stuff like what you're talking about and like what I use it for, to run it locally, Grok is 2 generations behind. So you can get the API for Grok 2.5, and if you've got the headroom, you can run it. And it's a lot. You need a lot of fucking juice. But you can't run Grok 3 or Grok 4. I don't think Grok 3 even existed. But you can't run Grok 4, which is I don't know. For what you do use it for, you don't really need it. But it's just great for things like, I mean, I use it all the time for doxing people. Like the number of times like an anon will be in my mentions, and I mean they probably don't realize I do this because I never engage with them, but the number of times a guy with no PFP will like say something shit to me, and I'll just plug his name, his username into Grok, and say cross-reference fucking everything, make no mistakes, find out who this guy is. Like 50% of the time, Grok will come back and say, "Oh yeah, I found this guy posting on an Etsy forum about buying a Holden." Like he finds it every single time.
Fuck, I hope you haven't done that to me.
The one time, one time I did it to someone. He was some schizo who ex-staffer, ex-Labor staffer who was in my mentions calling me a fucking fascist and a every name under the sun. And then I actually found out who he was, and I posted it. And I posted, it was a bad call. I posted his address, and instant 12-hour ban. Like, I don't know if he even reported me himself because he was too lazy. Like, but I copped a 12-hour ban for it. So since then, I don't actually post it. I just keep a little notepad of every single anon who calls me a fascist. Yeah. We got a lot of ChatGPT defenders in the chat, actually.
Oh, really? Nah,
ChatGPT is gay.
Complete midwit.
Grok. We got Grok puppets. Yeah. Guys, you gotta be all in on Elon and Grok now. Like he's saved
by the blue tick.
He's saved the stream. Look at our numbers now. Look at YouTube's numbers. Tell us, it's you can tell who backs us. Yeah. Bully Bullpig calls it the Regina George Byrne book. Yeah.
That's funny. My camera is like completely shut itself just at the end of this stream. Retarded.
That's right. I don't need a camera either.
I'm like trying.
Yeah,
my laptop goes onto this thing called like battery saving mode when you charge it, so it won't charge past 80% to like preserve the battery.
Oh, dude, you gotta fix that in settings, dude. I have mine set to 110%. Like I'm overclocked. I'm cooking here. Like plus it's so cold in Tasmania. Like my laptop keeps me warm when I'm in the stream of consciousness room. Because I have a room for this. Yeah,
that's funny.
Still frozen. Should I? I'll throw it to the chat. Should I try and get in a VTube, or is it annoying? Kind of just looking at a
dude. Look, one of the best. Yeah, and also like one of the best and most engaging live streams I've watched recently was when Howling Mutant did his, right? Like, and like Howling Mutant wasn't on there. Like he didn't face dox, like even though he's been face doxed. Like he just went on with his RV and it was spectacular. We need to condition the market, right? This is the kind of thing that pisses off the mainstream media. Like they're perpetually pissed off that we're just streaming in 720p on. I'm literally on a team.
And breaking news that they are unable to break, and
Brian's back.
Yeah, Brian's back. And they hate it.
I remember DeStefano going, "Oh, yeah, they love calling us cowards," and I say, "Yeah, how much do the AFR want to pay me to?" Talk shit online.
Dude, the jankier the better. Like if we had a producer and we had like an actual like graphics person, I would make this look like $1 million Extreme, like Fish Tank. Like I just have shit like 8-bit shit all over the screen. Like I've
got a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I like what Sam Hyde has done. Like he just records in a giant warehouse, right?
Yeah,
I think the first Sock Live should be at Revolver nightclub upstairs.
Oh yeah,
at 4 a.m. on like a Monday morning or something. Fucked.
Yeah. I'll wear those snakeskin pants that if you go deep into my Google mentions, I used to like have to give comment to news.com all the time, and Samantha Maiden used to take great pleasure in running this one photo of me in snakeskin trousers.
I'm sure you took as much pleasure in it as well.
I gave it to her. But those are the exact pants she wear to Revolver. So yeah,
I really want to do a sock from the CTA Business Club if it ever reopens, just with that weird 70s style bar.
That the sticky carpet, like
yeah. Although they keep saying they're going to reopen it, and they keep dragging it out.
Well, do you remember Jordan Knight back when before Jordan got became a professional? He was talking. Yeah, he was talking about getting the lads together and stacking out the board of the CTA so that we could effectively run it.
We should still do it.
And we won't invite Jordan, but we'll call it like the Jordan Knight Memorial like bar.
Migration Watch Memorial.
We'll put like one of the old Migration Watch Jordan Knight photos behind.
Although Jordan unlocked his account recently, and he's been posting.
Yeah, he's back.
Really?
Back.
Yeah.
He's been posting bangers again. I'm a big fan.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Peter Fitzsimmons, respecter, got his wish.
I know. What's he doing tonight? I hope he wasn't the one that Seven just doxed for the booing. Have you guys seen this? So while we were in the stream, like I think it like in the 7:00 Melbourne news broadcast, Seven doxed one of the booers and put him on blast.
Yes.
And then they went and interviewed him. They interviewed him and he said, "No, I'm not sorry."
Oh, Chad, absolute hero, done.
He's in thongs in a board short, absolute patriot.
Yeah, he's our modern day Corey Worthington hero.
Yeah, actually, let's mail him some Corey Worthington glasses for the next one.
Can you guys figure out how to get like screen sharing on this, or is that?
So I believe that if I press I'm going to press this button and hopefully it doesn't die.
Yeah. Come on,
but from here, I don't know how to put anything up. So I can do. I can share screen. I'm just going to check to make sure. Like, I'm currently on. So I'm just currently on the analytics. Is it working?
Oh well, so it's in the back of the studio. You'd have to click add it to stage.
Oh yeah, add to stage. So okay, so I can share screen. So yeah. So like I can just go to like home. You can see my. Oh look! Actually, there you go. This is it. This was literally the story I was just talking about. Do you want to watch the news
on the stream?
So hang on. If I put the volume up,
we tracked down 24-year-old Eli Toby, who's living with his parents near Penrith. It's not the first time he's been in the spotlight. He was also at a neo-Nazi rally outside Parliament House.
Here we go.
Out of the shadows and into the light.
I want to talk to you about your booing.
3 days after a remembrance service that will be hard to forget, we decide to say boo to Sydney's accused Anzac agitator.
Why did you boo at those people?
Leave me alone, please.
No, at the dawn service.
He is 24-year-old Eli Toby, and while you mightn't have seen him, police will allege you most certainly heard him. All 66 seconds of he and a band of dawn service spoilers.
Do you have any apology to make to the diggers, to their families?
How'd you find me?
Living at home with mum and dad.
Do they know about what happened?
I haven't told them yet. I'd rather you guys not tell them.
But the secret's out, and not for the first time. Here he is at last year's neo-Nazi rally outside Parliament House.
You're welcome to the country. It's not right.
Why is it not right?
Because it's designed to humiliate the memory of white Australia.
Do you think that was the right forum, though, to do it?
Yeah.
Haven't really given much thought, to be honest.
But others have.
I was appalled, totally disgusted.
It actually made me cry.
While Saturday's shout-down triggered widespread disgust, it also triggered broad debate, with the RSL now reviewing the entire Welcome to Country concept.
Welcome to Country has been overdone, and I think that is unfortunate.
But while some argue over that, there's no retreat from this.
I'm not sorry for it.
Not,
Oh,
not sorry for the
he's
booing.
I
wearing a
should be able
rugby
to say
league
what I
shirt.
like.
He'll appear in court in June.
Can you please leave now?
All right.
Thanks.
Clementine Cuneo, 7 News.
Wow. Okay. I'm
Absolute
so glad.
chud.
I'm so pumped that we can do this now. I had no idea we could do this.
Absolute chud.
This is
Sorry,
the
I'm just gonna get
innovation
rid of it
I'm
now, so you
I'm
can.
forcing.
Yeah.
There
This
we
is
go.
this is high technology now, where stream of consciousness has just elevated to the next level. Let me find
We're at
some
the
more
next
things
level.
to
We've
put on.
figured out something that
Yeah.
a 5-year-old could figure out.
Yeah, we figured out something that Drew Pavlou has known about for 10 years.
We're watching Bluey next.
Okay, a couple of
Next
things.
week we're watching Bluey.
Next week we're going to what
Yeah,
we're doing.
next week we're watching
When we get to
Bluey.
this stage of the show, we're just going to watch Bluey. I'm just going to scroll
So,
through.
Couple of things from that. You can
Yeah,
obviously
let's think.
hear multiple people booing, but who do the media go after? The guy who went to an NSN rally, because they're trying to loop it all into the same thing. If you have any patriotic sentiments in your being, if you
you're an
actually want to celebrate the excellence of Australia, you're going to be lumped into that, right? And this is the tactic they're going to go with. And they're going to roll out some henpecking Karen like that journo that you just saw.
Clementine Cuneo,
and then interview some like fat mole who's like, I cried. No, you didn't.
I mean, that's crazy. Fuck, that's bad, man. And that was Sydney too. I thought that was when I first saw that. I thought that was Melbourne, but that was actually Sydney.
But you know what? Like again, this is another guy with no media training, nothing, who just didn't take journalists seriously.
Just nailed it.
from the
Yeah,
outset,
just
right? And
because
this is what
he gave
journalists
zero
don't
fucks
understand.
about it.
How did you
This is
find
what
me?
journalists don't understand. The younger generations understand at first principles that journalists do not deserve respect.
Yeah.
I think,
And why should they when they go to the guy's house, like just some fucking random guy, and like
I'm as much as a journalist as she is. This is the funny thing.
Skull has broken more important stories in the last month than Clementine Cuneo has, 100%. Sock has broken more stories, well, that may or may not have been true in the last month.
But if someone told me
if
someone told me to fuck off, I'd probably laugh.
Like breaking news that may or may not be true.
But breaking news that may have come to me in a dream. And then we just, you know what we should do? So, you know how in media assets on StreamYard we can upload songs? We need to upload that song from Bluey so that every time I talk about something that may or may not have come to me in a dream, it's got the musical cue, like, I vow to thee, my country. Like, we'll do that. I actually tried to upload something to StreamYard a while back, but it wouldn't do it. I wanted to put up a song from Murdoch to run in the background at the beginning.
I think I need Bruce Lerman to say sloppy skull.
Great.
We need a. Maybe that you can go on the t-shirt. I'm thinking of like an AI designed kind of like Star Wars VHS cover inspired t-shirt of like Skull like Darth Vader, and then like a kind of cucked Nick McKenzie like Luke Skywalker, and like Abby Chatfield as Princess Leia. Yeah, and like Bruce Lerman dressed up like Han Solo, and me as Chewbacca. And it'll be like in the Star Wars logo, stream of consciousness, the Empire Strikes Back. But like, dude, that's a prompt into Grok. Like, we could just make that now.
Okay. Let me get onto that.
Did you see that's what I'm thinking for our first ever Stream of Consciousness t-shirt, and we'll go to that guy who Topher Field ripped off. Like, we'll get him to do the Stream of Consciousness t-shirts.
Support the lads. I'm just going to go back to the comments. Where was it? Fuck.
I mean,
someone was saying like the cops obviously leaked the address of that guy to the journos, which
100%
is what happened, 100%.
But here's the interesting thing though, like Clementine seemed to intimate that the police were investigating his booing.
Like what's the crime?
Like what's that about?
What's the crime? Enjoying a boo, like having a discreet boo.
You know.
Well, they're gonna find something that they're gonna pin him for, right?
Yeah, you poor bastard.
He's too chuddy and he's too disrespectful of establishment journalists. So they're gonna go after him 100%.
I'm gonna in solidarity with Eli, I'm gonna pull my hair back so you can see my Norwood. Like
Widow's Peak.
Yeah, Green Goblin's right.
Yeah.
They'll try to like public nuisance, or they'll go at him for attending the protest outside Parliament,
which was completely legal. Like the only guy they pinged for that was because that protest they're talking about is the one that they got the.
That's right. They approved.
Burke got Gunter. What was his name? Fucking Sir Walter. Fucking
yeah. They supported him.
Gunter,
Gruder,
whatever his name was. Like he got deported from that one. The protest where they got Joel was the abolish the tribal lobby. But
so they won't be able to get this kid for that then because they actually approved that rally.
Yeah, they approved it and they were completely peaceful. So I mean, what do you want to do? Like. They still haven't even banned him. The only organization that's banned is Hizbut Tahrir. So why are they persecuting a guy from an unbanned organization that no longer exists? Like using that logic, why aren't we still persecuting ALP members who used to be in the Communist Party? Actually, that's a good idea for when we take power.
Someone write that down.
Write that down.
I'm gonna have to jump off soon, but that sounds fun.
That sounds good, right? Yeah. I'll stick around for a bit, maybe until like 11. I'm looking for more content. I'm looking for more content to throw up, but
just watch some news.
I was gonna.
Oh, do you guys want to see Avi Yemeni on Channel 10?
Yeah, let's do it.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I was going to say throw up Mark Brown's website just to give everyone a bit of a taste.
Hold on, let me get on. Here we go. And now I have to press play.
Found a new tool, and now
He served in the Israeli army. So why is Avi Yemeni spearheading a movement called the Free Palestine Party? Rory Campbell investigates.
Why did you come my way? You're filming this, huh?
Avi Yemeni is an agitator and a provocateur. The former Israeli soldier, now a right-wing commentator in Australia, he talks a lot
about the
war between Israel and Hamas.
You're going to have a case against yourself. Sue me.
His views are pretty clear-cut.
What is the one issue that unites all useful idiots from the far left to the fringe right to certain immigrant cultures that have imported their hate? Who? Free Palestine.
Now Yemeni is trying to register his own.
He's kind of genius in his own way.
It is actually now I'm seeing it like this. Like,
imagine they walked into a polling booth and they saw Free Palestine Party. It's genius.
So
I love he keeps calling himself a genius.
We're going to flow our preferences on to parties that want to free Palestine from Hamas.
To do that, he intends to take advantage of the group voting ticket system in Victoria's upper house. If you cast a single vote above the line, your preferences.
Do the SPLC pay for this piece? Like, this is incredible.
Favours Pauline Hanson's One Nation.
He wants to start up a political party and direct preferences to One
Nation. Why is she in a hanger?
Well, from those preferences. My opinion is get rid of the whole system. Make it fair right across the board.
Yes, get rid of the whole system.
Voters to control their
Bring back the king.
The established Free Palestine movement is furious.
I believe it is deceitful.
Here we go.
I think it's anti-democratic. I think it's the work of a
liquor makeup, maybe.
That is the Star Wars name.
That is,
it is Star Wars name.
At least she's still got a buccal fat. Most of them don't.
Yemeni isn't claiming the idea as his own. Avi Yemeni claims that Labor has used this tactic and it's helped them stay in power. How real's that?
Completely false.
It's cause!
Mate.
The campaigns that the major parties have run have been on a whole range of broad-ranging issues.
Do you think it's a tactic that'll work?
No, I don't think so at all. The actual
Look
issue
at this
itself,
face, not Coz's face, the journalist's face.
Extremely passionate.
The journal
also extremely engaged in politics. So I think that this will fall flat.
Jono looks
to
like
register a
a
political party in Victoria, you need at least 500 members. The electoral
Hang
Commission
on,
can you
sets out to
actually-
make sure they're
can you pause
eligible
it for a
voters
sec?
and not
Yeah,
members
pause
of
it,
other
yeah, yeah.
parties. The party needs to
Imagine
even-
being Cos, all the work
Yeah.
that you've done, all
Yeah.
the like strategic advice that you provided, getting to that point and then getting asked by some rat-faced journalists about like this little meme thing that's been set up. Like,
Yeah, I mean, this is like the most important thing Cos has done since that time. He told me that Indians were voting
84%
Labor.
voted for Labor.
Cos does look terrible. I agree with
Yeah,
the
Cos
YouTube
looks
comment.
shocking.
He looks
Cos,
fucked.
I know he's into MMA, but he looks like he's gotten like a lot of sidekicks to the face.
Pablo
Like,
has been driving up his cortisol. That's what's happened.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah,
got
let's
the
watch the end
Pablo-
of this though, because this is
Yeah,
only
yeah.
2/3 of the way through. This is a big pack.
have a written constitution. The application fee is $840.50. The paperwork needs to be in by the 1st of June ahead of Victoria's November election. So Yemeni doesn't have a lot of time. Objections to a new political party can be made by anyone for a number of reasons, one being because the name is obscene. They can't be made because the name of the party doesn't express its true character, or because the party has questionable policies. Pro-Palestine supporters in Yemeni do have one thing in common. Neither likes the current group voting ticket system.
The problem is this system that allows people who have very
I love the
little support
tooth
in the
gap.
community,
That's spectacular.
to get
That's-
elected.
The Victorian
Like,
government
it's
is
giving
considering
late
whether the
80s
system should be
Madonna.
scrapped. It's the only state where it
She's
is
the Maura
still
Damey of the
used.
left.
Not that strategists see Avi Yemeni's stunt as something that'll have much sway. You don't see the Palestine-Israel issue as something that's likely to influence elections?
No, absolutely not. Just
Okay.
because something is popular within someone's online ecosystem
Really,
doesn't mean
Cos?
it's popular in the real world.
Really,
Okay,
Cos?
thanks, guys. Really, Cos. Hold on, I gotta. Fuck, I think I broke the stream. Hold on, remove. Okay. Yeah, like how good is that? I love that we can do that now. I've always wanted to be able to do that, and now I
It's
can
re-
literally just.
This
All I
is just
said
going
was-
to be two
all I said
retards
was do
watching
it.
news. That's going to be the new stream.
Keep guys,
Free.
keep giving me content. I'm going on YouTube now just to see what else we can look at. Do you want to watch old streams of consciousness on YouTube and we'll react to it myself?
Actually, the stream of conscious intellectual rants are pissing my ass. Suggested we maybe watch
Yeah.
some Moira content.
What's the
There-
latest
she-
Moira content?
She did a video at the shrine, which was actually not too bad. I'm trying to fast
Guys-
wave her into
I'm trying to find the one that Bianca Collier something did.
Collectia.
Collectia. Have you
But
seen?
I don't-
We got to watch this one from Victoria.
I don't know if anyone noticed, but Moira actually reposted a meme, which I fast waved her into.
Oh, I saw that.
the
Yeah,
turf
Saw
milk.
that. She cropped out turf milk.
Yes. No, I think she ran it through AI again.
yeah, and then did she take off the turf milf thing?
Yeah, which I was slightly disappointed in, and I haven't received a hit up. So
For the chat, in case you don't know, this is what we're up against with One Nation campaign intellectualism. Ready for this?
Hey everyone, just made it home from pre-polling Rosebud and damn, the Liberals are getting dirty. It's actually incredible. Dirty. Holding the seat of Nepean for 16 out of the past 20 years, they have to resort to lying to voters and smear campaigns. False, 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 false. Seriously, we are not privatizing the hospital. Please have a look at our previous post to understand what a PPP is.
PPP?
And look at this one. It really looks like they don't think they can win this fight fair and square. But you know what? They're going to need our help in November. And, well, let me tell you, that's not the way to make our lives. Especially when we have a common enemy, and that is Jacinta Allen in November. Nonetheless, we are going to keep fighting with a clean and fair campaign, and we will not get down to their level because we are better than that, and the people can see it. Authorized by Warren Pickering.
No, you need to be killers.
I want to just make an edit of that with the same same soundtrack, but it's just her saying "dirty" and "PPP" over and over again.
I mean, this goes back to what we were saying earlier in the show. Like, you guys need to be assassins. What? Like,
Yeah,
there's none of this.
Yeah,
like when they go low, we go high. Crap. It's total bullshit.
That's crazy, but yeah. I'm really pumped now for Sock next week because I think next week we're just going to do.
We're going to find some clips.
Video reacts. Just and I know Enoch's probably in the chat. Enoch, who is our the behind the scenes guy who's actually responsible. We're just going to find like a list of vids to play. And maybe we can do like a movie viewing night. Maybe we'll watch every episode of Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh,
yeah.
far out.
That
All right,
was wild.
I'm going to jump off, guys. Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
I'm actually going to jump. I'm going to jump off too. I think I'm done for the
right.
night. It's 10:30. I got shit to do tomorrow. I got shit posts to do. Skull, thank you so much for coming on, man. You're
Thank
a
you, gents.
fantastic sock puppet as always. Continue fighting the good fight and getting the good yarns. Thank you to all our sociopaths in the chat who've contributed enormously. I'm sorry we didn't get to everyone tonight, but it was a bit less me monologuing and a bit more actual content. So probably reflected in the viewer count as well. So, thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Oh, you got to say the line. Stay conscious, right?
Stay conscious. See you guys.
Yeah.